be. If my crew did not like it, I would put them over my knee. And this is what they would say to me.
Captain me, Space Daddy! Captain me, Space Daddy! Captain me, Space Daddy! Captain me, Space Daddy!
I got distracted. This isn't a sex thing. It's not a sex thing. Don't look at me like that. I just want to imagine being a space captain, blazing adversity and fighting through it. And if that means wearing a sexy uniform, then yes, I would be amenable to it.
Claim that you can't see it. Please do not play dumb. What Miss L possesses an inherent eroticism. And I just think we should explore the possibilities afforded to us by zero G.
Captain me, Space Daddy! Captain me, Space Daddy! Captain me, Space Daddy!
Captain me, Space Daddy!
There is only one rule you must know. When I give the order, you will make it so. Only one rule you must know. When I give the order, you will make it so.
Captain me, Space Daddy! 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 Space Daddy! Yes, CLOWNFEST returns! CLOWNFEST 9! CLOWNFEST 9 day 4! I'm fucking knackered after that. Let me get my breath back. Okay, so what is day 4? Day 4 is a studio tour day. Sadly, there's not as many studio tours as I thought we were going to get in, so I'm going to do a little studio tour as well in a bit, and I might even do a set over here. So who knows? It depends on how long it goes on for and how bored you all are at the end of it, really. Captain me, Space Daddy! I fucking love the new Horse album, and so should you. Go and check it out. Go and listen to it. However, don't do that right now, because Petrol Horse, aka Danny Carnage, has a tour in for us this time round. So, and he is 4 tours away. So, shall we get into it? This is one of my favourite days at CLOWNFEST. Why? Because it brings me closer to you as an artist. It shows me who you are, what you sound like, what you look like, that kind of thing, how you talk, how you flow, how bits and pieces like that. And I think it just brings us closer together as a community. And that's one of the reasons I do this. Woohoo! Okay, so let's just do a couple of hellos whilst we're here. Okay, so Moody Mother, Bob Van Hoob, Electronic Sounds, Benjamin LaQuenta Sorensen, Maudio, Tollington, Jordan Williams, how you going, my man? Tony Duncan, Verdroid, Tom Hillgrove, Vlady, there are Morgan Junifer, there are a few people in the building. So, shall we rock on with the first of the evening?
Hey,
and we're kicking this off.
People, you guys ready to talk some hardware?
Yes, we are, Vlady. Well, I'm going to shut my mouth, and you're going to listen to these guys.
I'll do a little walk around and then have a short explanation of my workflow towards the end. Really, it all started here when I was 13. I bought my first guitar. Well, my parents bought me my first guitar. Taught myself how to play by ear, just playing along metal albums, blaring this thing for hours on end. Really got me into music and tuned my ear. So very grateful for that. By the way, I have entirely forgotten how to play guitar at this point, even though I was fairly okay back in the day. Couldn't play to save my life at this point, but maybe someday I'll get back into it. In '98, I bought my turntables and spent almost every weekend thereafter for the next couple of years going out to LA and buying vinyl. Played at a bunch of outdoor parties, threw a couple of parties. That's the first party, actually, poster above it. Played a bunch of clubs. Really got into electronic music through this, and all types. Right, it was house, it was techno, it was trance, it was drum and bass, and all kinds of fun genres there within electronic music. That in turn got me very interested into making music. Discovered Rebirth and kind of gave me my first taste of being able to work with a sequencer and what filters and decays and resonance and envelopes and all of those things actually did. So that emulation was responsible for my first purchase, which is the Yamaha AN200. Fun fact, bought it for myself for Christmas in 2001. On the way out to visit my now wife's parents, and spent the entire 3 days glued to this box. So that was fun. Wonderful box, still use it lots to this day. Love it. Above it, TD3, doesn't need much of an introduction. Everybody's got one, so it's like an asshole. Don't really use it, because if I want an acid sound, this produces it much better for at least my liking.
Agreed.
It's also the first synth that I built myself back in 2004 or 5. Fantastic little box, love it to pieces. Recently got this cheapo multi-effects pedal from Amazon that makes it sound even better. Really usable delays and reverbs and overdrives on that little box, properly noisy for a 303. This is the head of the operation, really. This, along with Hardware Jams, is solely responsible for me actually starting to make music again. In contrast, this is the box that I at least tell myself was responsible for me not making music for the better part of a decade. But joke's on you, Emu, because I found the MPC one, and that has really kind of opened up my creative juices and got me into making music again. So love this little box. Korg Monologue, monster bass synth, and just lead line. If you're looking for a good mono synth, fantastic analog circuitry, really good filter, love it to pieces. That audio goes into the NTS1. Fun little box. The synth is okay, but the delays, as most of you know, the delays, reverbs, and the rest of the effects on here are fantastic. I do need to spend more time and dive into the synth and the additional oscillators that are available online and see if I can get some usable sounds out of here. I'm sure I can. Korg Volca FM, not much of an introduction needed there. Obviously Mark's favorite line of products from Korg. Actually get some really good Reese's and stabs and basses for drum and bass out of this box. And of course any typical 80s type of sound that you're looking for. This thing is a monster, especially for the price. Below that is the Novation drum station. Haven't used it in ages. As you see, it's not powered on. It's not even plugged in. I think it has a MIDI cable. Yep, that's it. And that's not going into anything. I ran out of inputs in my old mixer ages ago, so this thing got pulled out of the rotation, so some of the other synths can be plugged in. But that'll all change soon here, as you see in a second. Moving over to the blue stack of power.
I got one of those.
Korg MS2000R, really good poly synth, but an even better poly synth, the Cobalt 8M. Really powerful, wonderful sound shaping and creation capabilities, especially if you pair it with the app. That's what the holder for the tablet is above it when I'm doing sound design with it. Really deep, wonderful sounding box. Moving down to the MB
Nice
808,
hand solo.
home built 808 clone. Great box. It's in every piece of music that I've made since I've built this thing. This has been in it. Whether it's the entirety of the drum in a track or just a kick and a snare or kick, snare, and hats, it's in everything. Love it. Would never sell it. If you guys have never seen them, they're pretty rare. There's some that are selling for over $4,000, so pretty ridiculous money, but this thing's never leaving. Moving over, another monster bass / mono synth. This doesn't really need much of an introduction. It's a Minotaur, fantastic. Micro Monster 2, really good polysynth, duophonic. Use it a lot for stabs and pads and effects and sweeps and things of that nature. Really, really good little box. Already kind of mentioned this little guy. Used it for ages, but really couldn't get along with a sequencer. So now at this point, because of the Jewel that is the MPC-1, this is essentially a sound module that I use. Really usable drums, really great synth sounds, really good tweakability, and just all around great sounding box, surprisingly, especially for how old it is and the fact that it's all ROM based, but really, really good sounding box. The audio out of that goes through the flashback delay. Not much to say there, just a really cool delay box. MIDI in and out, which is fantastic, so I can save patches and control the parameters from the MPC. Dark Star, haven't used this in ages. This was actually the second box I bought after the Yamaha. As you can see, it's not even plugged in, MIDI's hanging there. I just have it turned on, so it looks cool for you guys, but haven't used it in ages. Moving on to the beloved Juno 106. Love this thing. I've had it since 2005, I believe. I bought it for 400 bucks. I've since replaced all of the sound chips and the analog Renaissance slingshot chips. Really good sounding chips. Still sounds like a Juno, but just a little bit better. Even more transformational was the Kiwi mod. As you can tell, the front panel is a lot more complex than your traditional Juno front panel. A lot more tweakability, sound shaping capability, and best of all is that I now have MIDI CC control of everything on here. Oh, it also has digital memory, so I don't have to dick around with the battery anymore. Fantastic little upgrade. That goes through the Red Panda Particle version 2, granular delay, good little delay box. This used to be my primary mixer for ages. It's old Soundcraft MFX board, very limited input number, especially for this. So things were getting plugged in and out all the time. Cables looked a mess. Not that they don't now, but they were much worse before. So now it's relegated to a submixer just for the drums. So I have the individual outs from the MB808, and soon to be in the empty slots, we'll be routing the drum station in there. So cool mixer, sounds great, but just limited input. So that's what got me to get the Soundcraft 22 MTK multi-track. Do I use it? Nope. Can I? Sure. I just have to get off my lazy ass and set up the template in Ableton to be able to multi-track all this stuff. So that'll be coming into a later date. The effects chain of the MTK goes through the Strymon Night Sky Reverb. Fantastic reverb pedal.
Yeah, awesome pedal, that one.
Fantastic Strymon Volante delay pedal. Lovely boxes. The center pedal is a delay pedal that I use for the drum mixer. Cool artifacts and fun things come out of this box. Soon to be a polyphase. I'm still troubleshooting and trying to get this thing to actually work, so we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, still a medium of the set. Smash the like button, peeps.
Everything, like I said, kind of goes through here. I set up a template and start jamming. Most important thing about the way I make my music is the attention and time I spend on drums. Probably a little too much time, but I do it anyway. I layer the shit out of my kicks, snares, and hats. Try to get variations in sounds and placements, and a lot of tuning of bass drums to make sure that it doesn't fight with the bass but sounds good and punches through. So that's really where the vast majority of my time is spent when I construct a track or a set, is really trying to get down and meticulous with the drums. Another quick point is in regards to transitions when I'm doing longer sets. Typically, most of the stuff is sequenced from here. However, I do use the Yamaha sequencer as well to use the 16 steps on it. As limited as it is, it provides a really good template to create transitions, right? So bringing in synth lines, I will bring it in through the 16 steps
Oldie
here.
Toffee, if you get bored of the MPC, sell it to me.
This part or the sequencer on this box, and then start playing that same synth line, but in a longer progression over 4 bars on here. And then conversely, as I am phasing out a track, I will turn this part off and turn this one back on. and then switch the sequence on the MPC. So that allows me to carry over the synth as well as any percussive elements that I'm using from this sequencer into the next track on the MPC. And then within the first, 16 bars, 2 bars, I will disengage this and switch the program to the next track, and so on and so forth. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for spending some time here in the studio with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your CLOWNFEST. Love you all. Bye.
Thank you very much, Vlady. And that is the first tour of the day underway. Thank you very much, Jordan. I like the makeup too. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to do whilst you're on stage. And it dribbles all over my face and all over my kit. But, other than that, it's lovely. All right, so that was Vlady's tour. Again, nice to see an in-depth discussion on what he's got in his studio. Yeah, nice little studio that. I want the MPC myself. All right, let's see who's next up. Spin the wheel. Oh, the Verm. It's his birthday today as well.
And welcome to the Worm Studio Tour. I'm your host, Art Black. So, first thing I want to show is my setup here. My laptop, which I do all my recording on. I use Reaper to record a lot of stuff on. And then sometimes I master it in Reaper, and sometimes I use Audacity, which has a lot of cool tools to use. I don't know why I do it that way. I'm just used to it. Next thing is my mixer. It's a Soundcraft Signature 12.
Everybody uses Soundcrafts. I got to say, I fucking hate them.
It is my interface and records 12 tracks onto Reaper, which is somewhere. And I have a little template that I use to record all my tracks onto. The first thing that I use to record music is my Electribe 2 sampler, which I've been using for almost 6 or 7 years now. I used to have the ES1 that I was using. Volume knob became janky, so I upgraded, sold my ES1 back to the original owner. We do a lot of trades and sell to each other in this town. When we don't get something new, we make trades for that. The next thing is, recently I got a second Electribe 2. Why? For samples, mostly. This one does all the drum beat samples. So all my drum beats are weird sounds that I sampled either off the internet or with another recording device. The recording device being my Tascam here, the DR40. Next thing I have is
I got one of those.
My Electribe goes into my Chaos Quad here.
I've got one of those.
And I manipulate all the drum beats with these pads. And I love all the different effects that you can do at the same time. The Electribe 2S sampler for the other samples, which I do movie samples on. Maybe I overdo it. I'm probably going to experiment with chopping sounds and stuff like I used to do on this one. And that goes into my KP3, which I do most of the weird effects for the samples
one of those
on, or voice stuff, or loops. These will do the loops, and for various ambient style things.
I do actually have an E2 as well. It's under here in the mini rig.
Is my monologue, which I use for all my bass sounds, and to give it more depth, I
got one of those as well
for a lot of sounds, affecting it in various ways. Mostly, give it like a granular sound to it. The next thing is for melodies. I've been using my Minilog XD. has all sorts of effects I loaded on there, and oscillators and things like that. And so I don't have it plugged into anything except for the mixer. And then I also have my Mini Nova here, which does leads. Sometimes I'll switch between these two. But I didn't normally do it exactly like that before I got this little guy. For my last album, basically just the last album, I used this for sequencing with my Electribe 2 sampler, these two guys, and sometimes this, but mostly just play.
I bash the E2 a lot, and that's simply because I'm absolutely in love with the original Electribe. They're hands-on, they're beautiful, you can get grooves out of them real quick, and I love that. Now, the E2 is a very capable 16-channel sequencer. Unbelievable. I don't know quite the sample time on them, otherwise I may have bought a sample by now, but literally, I cannot get my head round why they would have stepped so backwards when they made the E2. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Leads with this. And let's see, that doesn't go into anything except for, again, the mixer, which it has its own effects and it's pretty decent. It has a pretty deep sound, even better in some ways than the Minilog XD. But I think that's just the amp that it uses somehow. It's got a darker, richer sound, which I could probably develop on this guy, but I'm so busy I don't get a chance to always mess with all the presets and settings and making my own presets and settings. Next thing you'll notice, I have my guitar pedals here.
Got a few of
They're
those
normally
over
on the floor, but I've been experimenting with some stuff that I'll be doing in the near future with my Fender Jaguar, which I haven't actually picked up in a very long time, but I'm planning on doing very soon. I've had this guitar since 1992, and I used to play it a lot up until the mid-90s, where it just sat in its case, only getting attention from a friend of mine who is a huge Fender enthusiast, and he would take it from me and retune it for me all the time for no reason except that he loved it. The next thing I have to show is, besides my stupidly massive CD collection, not as big as some people's record collections, my studio's in a bit of a mess right now.
My studio's always in a bit of a mess, don't worry, Art.
We've got some little toys here for circuit bending. I've got a bass and acoustic guitar in the corner here. I've got these giant Ross stacks for when I do sound for myself at places that don't have their own sound. Some charts because I'm reteaching myself some theory stuff. My gas mask collection. These two keyboards, which
I got one of those cats.
I plan on circuit bending pretty soon. Some other random nonsense. I got the MPD218.
I got one of those as well.
And buried under here is another keyboard. And I got this M-Audio Keystation Mini 32. Both I was going to use to do a more DAW-oriented setup, but I just can't get into it at all. It takes too long to make any kind of music that I enjoy.
I agree.
When I can make a song in like 5 minutes on these things.
Kind of.
Literally, I made a whole album in like 1 hour with a friend of mine. he played some synths, and I played the drums and a couple synths and samples, and we did it in 1 hour. A DAW cannot do that.
Oh,
Maybe they can.
watch
but
me a bit later.
you'll have
Alright.
to tell me about that. I got my Alien collection because I am a little bit obsessed with Alien, but not super obsessed, just mildly. I've got
We're all geeks, aren't we?
my
We're all
little
geeks.
workbench for all my circuit bending stuff, which I have absolutely no room for. I have this synth that I built. It actually works pretty well, but I messed up some of the circuits for the VCAs and VCFs, but everything else works really well. It makes a lot of noise and sequences that noise pretty cool. The little sequencer there. I just never mess with it anymore. Or any of the other junk that I made, like that drum machine, the weird sound module, all noise makers, toys that I'm making robots with. I make little robots. All the little components, like resistors, capacitors, things like that.
I didn't realise you built your own stuff out.
The famous SK1 Casio, which has been circuit bent, not by me. But I'm going to use the concepts on that to circuit bend this SK1, which is unmolested. But I will molest it.
Yes!
A lot.
Molesterize it, Art! Molesterize it!
A lot. There's my dog Indy, my cat Fog,
That cat loves art, like absolutely loves art.
and my cat Storm. And my wife is busy at work, so I will not introduce her.
Her name's Carrie, by the way.
We met R2 briefly. Thank you for being a part of my studio tour. I hope you enjoyed it.
Get fucked.
Now. Keeping it gangster, 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 gangster life I'm living. Keeping it gangster, gangster, gangster. Gangsters make the world go round. You wanna fuck with Romero from the 505, but Fukin local. I'm lyrically twice your size. But instead of you a rapper, that's a nice disguise.
I have no idea what that is all about at all. One thing I will say from all these tours is I'm noticing a lot of these instruments in people's studios. It all seems that we all started somewhere with wood and strings. This was where I started my craft. I played drums for about a month or two beforehand and realised I was never going to make it as a drummer, and then tried something different, and bass was the one for me. I think this is in D drop C or some shit. It's for playing System of a Down. But it's nice to see that we all come from kind of the same sort of arena, and we're all now making electronic music. It's absolutely gorgeous. By the way, I might be starting a band with Sam Fett. How interesting does that sound? I fucking can't wait for that at all. But yeah, lovely tour there. Art, like I say, you rely heavily on the E2, and if you like the E2, it's a very, very capable box. But I couldn't get into it after the hands-on here. Everything is where they need. Literally, all they needed to do was upgrade it a little bit. Like literally, just upgrade it a little bit. Separate outs, better synth engine, and better effects to it. And literally, that would have been it. You wouldn't even need to have done anything to it. Just additions, and they decided to remake the whole fucking thing. I absolutely hate the E2, but if you use it, you can get good noises out of it. All right, who is next up in our tour?
Yo.
Lady Von Sens is set right at the fucking end of the day. There has not been a CLOWNFEST where Kay has got his stuff in early or even on time. I'm always having to download his shit right as we're fucking streaming. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's listen to what the Verge Rider's got to say.
Last CLOWNFEST studio tour got lost somewhere. So Mark asked me to do another studio tour, which is cool. I like to do studio tours and music and all stuff.
Good.
Today, 15th, 1 week till CLOWNFEST. I decided to start early on my set.
No, you didn't. You did it Sunday day.
This is my go-to and everything. I have a studio, I have a lot of gear. The best piece of gear is, to me, is laptop, mouse, cheap headset. Got a Sennheiser HD 202. I think it's 25 euros or something. Don't remember. Yeah, for me is Ableton. This is like how I like to noodle. I start making some sounds. I just started this like 10 minutes ago. Just put in a plugin. Goes like. So this is like how I start working. Mostly got some coffee, some vaping. That's it. Early in the morning, by the way, is for me mostly the best time to do things. At night you do a lot, but most of the stuff is just
Vlady, I'll show you
rubbish.
something in a minute with Ableton.
So this is how I attempt every song mostly. I start. Just do some noodling, make a sound, and I go from there. Then first thing that pops up into my is like, I need a kick.
Yes, you do.
So got lots of kicks. I got more kicks than friends, said someone. It's true. I hear my garbage kicks. So go for. Put in this kick 4/4 and we see how it goes. Yeah, sounds rubbish. Actually, there's background noise here. Not that I want to do much here, showing like how I work in computer is simple. I just start to build, I add another kick, I add a third kick, I add some distortion and stuff, and mostly right now, actually, I understand like, damn, I need my touchpad so I can quickly launch between a single kick and a I need my buttons, I need my tweaking things, and then also like this is a thing, a free distortion I like to use. It's cool, but I got more stuff in studio, so
Let's go and have a look at that.
I'm gonna end this up here, and I'm gonna hook everything up in the studio so I can work there.
Good.
Right now, actually, I understand like, damn, I need my touchpad so I can quickly launch between a single kick and a I need my buttons, I need my tweaking things, and then also like this is a thing, a free distortion I like to use. It's cool, but I got more stuff in studio, so I'm gonna end this up here, and I'm gonna hook everything up in the studio so I can work there.
Are we gonna get it? Yeah, there we go.
Ta-da! We are in the studio, and typically a lot of missing audio files.
Yeah,
Taking
same here.
forever to find. So I'm going to talk about the studio setup, some pieces of gear, audio routing, MIDI routing. Everything is running off this laptop I showed before. Windows 7, I believe, and Ableton 8 is running on here. So, how does everything work? MIDI wise, everything goes to easy 4-in 4-out MIDI hub. So I have basically like 4 MIDI outs, and each channel has 16 each out has 16 channels. This one goes to a Roland A88, something like this thing. Fantastic piece of gear. It's literally like you have MIDI in coming in and you want to send it to this button, to this out, so you can do that. This has 8 ins, 8 outs. I only have four of them coming in. I believe a 5th one coming from the Tascam audio MIDI thing. So here you can route everything to everything. Then this will go to all the devices, send MIDI clock and MIDI data, like notes to the synthesizers. For this, it sends the drums, the percussion. Here also synth lines. This is how far the MIDI works. Then for audio, all the synthesizers go into this Soundcraft studio desk. It's an analog desk, sounds so beautiful. Bought it super cheap of some bands who stopped playing, and then the singer, he got this desk. He didn't know what to do with it, so he sold it for I believe I paid 350 euros.
Wow, good score.
Anyways,
Okay.
all the synthesizers go there. All the channels from Ableton go to, I have to look for that blue light thing there. Is a easy gigaport. I think it has 8 outs. So the 8 outs go to the desk. Basically every sound is coming to this desk. One thing I really like about this desk is the auxiliaries. It has 6 auxiliaries. For the moment I only use 2, so I can send each channel to another device, like this one and this one. Then from the desk all the sound goes to a composer from Behringer.
I've got one of those, not using it.
It does compression, and you could actually use one channel, then use the other one as to side chain. I'm not doing that. I'm just sending everything to here, left and right, and this goes to my speakers so I can hear. And there's 2 outs. There's like a XLR out and line out. The other one goes to this Tascam for line in, so I can record back into Ableton. This is how it works. To show you how beautifully this auxiliary sound and stuff, we got
Aha!
a basic synth line going in here. Okay. Then you can send this to this filter, for instance.
What is that, Kay? And how much do they retail at? That wasn't on my list of wants until Kay fucking started twiddling it. Now it's on my list of wants. Yeah, no, Vlady, nothing Vermona is cheap, but listen to it.
Now, that was a synth line going through the Vermona filter Lancet. Vermona filter Lancet, another analog piece. Sounds so good, so good. Combination with the Soundcraft and the Vermona gives a whole new dimension to your sounds. Super beautiful. If I had the money, I would buy a lot of Vermona stuff. Like they have an analog drum. I would love to have my hands on that piece. Damn, so good, so good. That was a synth line. Another thing I love this gabber kicks. Yeah, you would have guessed it. My style, big kicks. I'm gonna show you a small example of what you can do with a basic
You did
kick.
last night for your set, mate. It was beautiful.
Here we got a kick. Add some of the tube.
Oh,
This is the sound from the Electribe itself. Let's see if we can do a 4/4. That's a bit slow. Whatever. Good enough. So this one goes into here. We can equalize this stuff as much as we like. I'm just gonna put everything in the middle. And of this, send it to the Vermona. Put a bit of LFO on it.
it's the LFO I like. Yeah, this is on my want list now.
Clear sounds. Vermona.
I think everybody now wants a Vermona. Yeah, the Sherman is amazing. I think I'm underusing it at the moment, though, unfortunately. I'll run through that when we go through my studio tour.
In the Ableton settings, we have, or like I said, the AZ Helier board or something. Has so many outs. Plus some outs from the Tascam. So we have a lot of outs, all in mono, so they can come in here mono. MIDI. We got a lot of things here, like the 4 outs. There are inputs, launch pads. I use launch pads and a BCR to control everything live. 3
The
launch
BCR
pads.
was a genius piece of kit.
For people who know how Ableton works, it's like a grid, and here you can control a grid of 8 by 8, and you can switch to everywhere. Like this would be the top. Let me show you that live. So basically, if I want to trigger something here, it's gonna be here. If I want to go to the next page, I go here, and it will show this thing. I have 3 launch
Wow.
pads. Why? Because I can be busy here. These are my synths, I guess. These are audio files. Then another thing like synths, I believe. What else do I
It's your
got
set,
here?
okay? You should fucking know.
Yeah, I can go anywhere. So the cool thing is, like, imagine I'm busy in this section, but I want to play something else there. I don't have to depend on one. I can just use the other one
Yeah.
to mix between 2 sessions I made in Ableton.
Like that
Another
idea,
thing I
okay?
use this for. This one is analog. Doesn't have MIDI in. So if I want to use the LFO, you either do it by CV control for those who are into modular, or there's like this audio trigger. So I have an audio file in with a small
Click.
sharp sounds.
Click track.
I don't use it in the desk. I put it to here, and then one will go like 4/4, then half beats, then 8 of beats. So I can just push this, and the LFO will go from different beats, like
Yeah.
the trigger in a different way.
Yep.
Then that's actually how I work. Then when you have set everything up, it should go like you just press the buttons.
Unfreaking believable.
That was terrible. But I'm gonna leave it here. Tomorrow is CLOWNFEST. I really need to make music. See you later.
Yeah. Kay, you did a fucking amazing job of your set the other night. It was brutally good. The timings just made me anxious as fuck, my man. It was nice to see a real in-depth into your, like you say, last time you did this, you were a little bit drunk, so it was a little bit haphazard. That was much better. We got to see all through your studio, your routing, where you go. Absolutely lovely. And yeah, I think we're all after the Ramona filter at this point, aren't we? All right, who is next? Oh, here we go.
Okay,
Danny
this
Carnage.
is take 2 because I accidentally pressed stop on take 1 and I don't want to have to do any editing. I am Danny Carnage. I make music and stuff. This is the second video that I'm putting in as my CLOWNFEST 9 studio tour. I did put in one video before, but it was quite short. I kind of tried to make it amusing. It had a more jovial tone. But then we need to fill up a bit of time, so I said I would do a more in-depth one. Now, I started my YouTube channel as a thing when I was doing like DIY synths and homemade electronics, and what I used to do was just do these like 90-minute long, unstructured, unplanned, unscripted, rambling videos about electronics. So buckle up, motherfuckers, because that's where we are now.
Yes!
I am not trapped in here with you. You are trapped in here with me. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be boring. It's gonna be dry. So, this is what you signed up for. There is no escape.
Danny, we don't want to escape. We want to be trapped in your studio with you. We want you to captain me, Space Daddy! Hey, get on with it.
I'm not doing any editing. It's out of focus now. This is what you get, right? You get what you get. So here we go. I'm gonna talk about my doorless rig. This is my streaming setup. I'm gonna try and make this educational and maybe entertaining, but I'm not gonna try too hard about that. So, got a quick guided tour of all of the other stuff. This is it. What you see here is basically it. TD3MO and a TD3. They're like, they're 303 clones. They do what 303 clones do. They make acid noises. They're fine. They're good. And the Behringer ones, it's fine. It's fine. They've done a good job. But there's not much to say about them because they do what they do. I did recently. The video interview that I did with Mark recently, which you should go and check out. If Mark's paying attention, he'll post the link to it in the chat right now. I'm just waiting for a second to give him a chance to do that. So yeah, and if he said anything about this and maybe laughed, I can't hear you, Mark. This is a video. It was pre-recorded. So you can say what you want actually, but I might come back later and sample it into a track. But what I said to him in that is that the TD3MO, he doesn't like the MO, which is fair because like the TD3 basically sounds good no matter what you do with it.
There you go. There's that interview with Danny.
Put acid lines into it, and it just sounds good. It has built-in distortion, which is perfectly usable, and it sounds good. The MO is the version that has like the mods, like the Devilfish mods, I think it is.
Yeah, correct. They stole them.
And I
didn't
like it as much at first. I was really excited when I first got it. But it basically, what the conclusion I've come to is that you have to work harder on this one to get your sounds out.
Correct.
I do really like it now, but the sweet spots are smaller. It doesn't hold your hand. This one, you can set the controls to basically anywhere and it sounds fine.
Yeah.
This one is far more based on, you have to know what you're trying to achieve with it.
Yep. Yep.
Like it's got even just stuff like the cut-off resonance, envelope and decay and whatnot have a much wider range.
Penis, my penis.
Than the vanilla one. So so when you set it, you have to know what you want to achieve. Like I said, see now, I'm already repeating myself. I'm saying the same thing more than once. This is just the kind of video that this is going to be. So,
brilliant.
So that's just this is more of a you problem than a me problem. So back here, so that's the TD3s. We've got over here. We've got the Electron. I think they pronounce it Digitact. I still insist on calling it Digitact, and I hope that isn't problematic because it's not intended to be. The Electron Digitact. So this is like the simplified description of what this is a sampling drum machine, but that is selling it a bit short. You got 8 audio channels and 8 MIDI channels. It's a really fairly comprehensively spec'd MIDI sequencer as well. This, until very recently, until a few weeks ago, this is what I was using as like the main brain for this setup, and for all of the drums and for all of the MIDI programming. This is a great piece of kit. They call it an 8-voice digital drum computer and sampler, which is technically accurate, and that is the best kind of accurate to me. Polyend tracker. I've only had this now like 2 or 3 weeks. I fucking love this thing. This is my favourite piece of kit at the minute. This is basically a sampler.
Yep.
If anyone disagrees with that description of this, then I will meet you in the car park where we can discuss this. But it's a sampler, but it uses a tracker interface. What a cacophony that was! Yeah, but it goes from top to bottom, and you can do sampling stuff. There's a sample there. Look. We're gonna zoom. We're playing for time, so we're gonna zoom in on the sample. But no, this thing is cool. This, I've been writing tracks on this, just on its own, with nothing else. Oh. Cool. Whereas the Digitact, I really struggled to do that on there, but on this, it can do a lot more.
MPC1 or a tracker for me, I don't know.
Really well. So I'm using kind of both of them together as now the brain for everything. More on that in a bit. Hydrasynth desktop.
My Hydrasynth here.
If I just give you a quick look over here, but not too long, because I don't want to scare anyone too much. But this room is a mess, right? And it's kind of small as well. And over here I've got this stuff, which, you know, I don't have room for a Hydrasynth keyboard. I would love one.
Yeah.
But I don't have room, so the desktop has to do. This is the only polysynth I've got in my rig. I believe it is eight voices of polyphony. This will do any kind of synth sound. It does wavetable. It does some kind of rudimentary FM stuff, but you know, usable FM stuff. What have I got on here?
Pads. You keep using it for pads and strings.
This is a great synth. I definitely don't use it enough to its fullest potential. I tend to use it for pad sounds.
What did I just say?
I've made some nice.
See, Bob, it's the other way around for me. If my room's not tidy, I can't make music. It's ridiculous.
Lush strings, and I like that it has a little waveform view when you play it. And also that you can change the pad modes and make it change the key and then set it like that, and so you can just like
that synth is worth more than pads, I am telling you.
It's perfectly playable. It has polyphonic aftertouch, so if you have the keyboard version, it has polyphonic aftertouch, but this on the pads, it's also actually polyphonic aftertouch, which I really don't use these pads enough. I need to use them more. That is why, if people watch my videos, I used to have this in a rack over there, and I moved it down here because I just wasn't touching the pads enough.
Yeah, I agree with that one, Danny.
So now hopefully I will. But yeah, this is a great piece of kit. This right here is the Behringer 2600. It's a clone of the ARP 2600. It's
beautiful synth.
3 oscillators, filter, a couple of envelopes, and a bunch of other utility stuff. Kind of semi-modular. It's technically paraphonic. You can play more than one note on it, but they share the envelopes, and the signal path, the filter, and everything is shared. But that sounds great. I suspect this isn't going to do anything good. It kind of did. There we go. Sounds brilliant, as you can hear just there. Yeah, I use that for a lot of basses and leads, and some kind of pad and effect sounds. It sounds real big. It sounds nice. Behringer Neutron. I really like this. I use this for a lot of basses.
It's a Psy machine.
It's another analog
Behringer piece of kit.
Technically, it's paraphonic, semi-modular synthesizer. And yeah, it's. Again, it's just good. It's just nice. It's just nice. It makes nice sounds. Can I make it make sound now? What if I do that?
Go on. It's a Psy machine. This thing is a Psy machine. I'm not joking.
And it makes analog synth sounds. The Behringer stuff is Behringer synths. I think are really decent.
Right, he's just talking about Behringer there, okay? So the two TDs, the ARP and the Neutron, yeah? The only pieces of kit that aren't are the Hydrasynth, the Polyend Tracker, and the Digitact. Yeah, Behringer are absolutely killing the market these days. Killing it. killing it stone dead. They're offering cheap synthesizers at affordable prices that are classics, and they're also coming out with their own stuff, the Neutron, the DeepMind 12. There are going to be the Crave. There are going to be other things from Behringer. Yes, their ethics are a little dodgy and questionable. When they released the original TD3, the guy who did the open source material on it just wanted his name on the circuit board, and they said no. For Devilfish, they were going to pay him, I think it was 32 grand or 16 grand or something like that for the mods specs for the TD3. They turned him down flat again because he wanted a share in their profits. Now, I can understand that. I can see it from both points of view. It just leaves a weird taste in your mouth. It really, really does. And then Behringer did that fucking cork sniffing thing. What the fuck was that all about? So yeah, like Behringer for me is a double-edged sword. And at the moment, I'm not really buying their analog pieces because there's no patch store on them, and they are just ridiculously basic. Once they start releasing this stuff with patch store on and upgrading it, you know, they've got enough circuitry now to look at their own synths, but they're not doing it for some reason. They just keep churning out repros, and that kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Anyway, let's go.
Really good value for money. I would not hesitate to recommend a Neutron to anyone wanting to get into maybe their first hardware synth or analog synthesis or semi-modular stuff. The 2600 I would also recommend, but it's a bit more expensive. The Neutron's fucking great. The 303 clones, either of them, I, again, would not hesitate to recommend.
Yep. For the money, it's
this mixer, don't buy this. Don't buy this. This is, what is this? This is an X1222 Xenix. It's a Behringer mixer. Do not buy this. I cannot stress enough how much you should not buy it. It's like it has built-in effects, but which has a weird popping sound. The stuff like the aux sends, if you set the same to the same, like the aux to the same, the knob to the same point on more than one channel, it'll send different amounts of signal. Like, it's not nothing's right. It's all fucked. Oh, and then I discovered a thing that I'm using the tape out on it, but if you have it set up so that the meter, hang on, I need to put this camera back around. If you have it set up so that the meter is on, so you've actually got the master faders up, and therefore the meters are working. One of those LEDs, when it lights up, causes like a weird crackle in the tape out signal. Have you ever heard of anything as stupid as that? Like, so yeah, the Behringer mixers, no, but the synths are all right. So yeah, so basically, yeah. So this is I
just want to do another little quick thing on Behringer again, right? Now, this is why they've been bashed in the past. This is why they've been bashed in the past. This is a Behringer pedal. It's plastic, yeah? If you're a guitarist and you're on stage and you're stomping on this like every fucking 10 minutes, it's going to break. I've lost the spring inside this one, so it's going to break. This is why Behringer have got such a bad reputation, because they made plastic pedals. Now, if you're using them for synths, all you do is turn them on and turn them off. You know, chances are you've got them to hand. Mine is to hand here. It's not on the floor. I'm not stamping on the fucking thing. So, Behringer got their shitty reputation because of plastic pedals. Don't buy Behringer. They're shite. No. Depends on where you're using your Behringer pedal as to how long it's going to last you, and that's simply as simple as it is. All right, carry on, Danny.
God, nothing's happening. So I do that kind of stuff and other stuff. You've seen, I mean, I don't know, maybe you've seen the stuff that I put in, maybe you haven't. Like,
yeah, the newer stuff, the Midas stuff, the X32 is an amazing bit of kit.
So, in terms of how this is all like wired up, and in terms of like workflow and stuff, the way I'm working now is I write stuff on the tracker first. I take that away from here, like take it downstairs or sit in bed with it, and like sketch out ideas on there, and then I bring it back here. I've got a controller keyboard over there. Look, Right, the controller keyboard, the out from the controller keyboard comes into a MIDI through box that I have here. And from there, it goes to the in of the tracker, and it goes to the in of the... Oh, and then it goes to this switch, the in of this switch. So that on the Digitact... Oh god, I've got to press some buttons and get some stuff working. I can switch the switch over and then use my controller keyboard to control that. And then I can switch the switch back, and now it's being controlled by the tracker. So that means that if I find an empty track, if I use the...
Good evening, Phil. How's it going? You've just joined us for Danny Carnage's studio tour.
I can control the Digitact. And that includes sending program changes and sending MIDI CC numbers to the individual channels and to the effects on here. But so I can program that stuff in on the tracker and send it to the Digitact. So far I've only really experimented with program changes. So this last track that I put up on my YouTube channel yesterday has the tracker sending program changes to the Digitact so that the patterns on the Digitact change based on that, which is cool because the tracker has a song mode, so you can, with a little bit of thought and planning, you can set up the song mode on here, set up the patterns so that they send program changes to here. I'm then using...
Hold on. Let's just have a quick look at the track that you put up yesterday, Danny. Honestly, your set for CLOWNFEST was amazing, mate. Right, there's the track Danny was talking about.
On here, I'm programming some drum parts.
There it is!
Let's just... Oh, and apparently a bass part. No, just a very basic kick drum. So I've used this for some drums, some miscellaneous samples and stuff, and I'm also using it to program to control my other synths. So what we got? So that's playing. So that's controlling the neutron and the 2600. So something that I've got set up here is this pattern on channel 9, which is controlling the neutron. I have the mod wheel set up on here, and then over here I've got the assign output patched into the frequency mod input. The assign output is set to mod wheel, so that means I can program some like cutoff changes. Which is pretty cool. This is the first track I've used that a little bit, but like I don't always do that. I want to do some more of that kind of stuff. And what have we got going on over here? I mean, I don't know what's happening with this, but I'm sure that sounded better than that, but maybe I'm mistaken. I'm gonna blame my tools like a good workman does. So yeah, the other thing that I've experimented with just as a proof of concept is like on the Digitact has like reverb and delay, and I can use the tracker to control the reverb and delay settings, which is something cool. And I can't remember, was it was it John Alchemy? Someone last night was saying that you can do a MIDI loopback trick to control some performance effects.
Yes, I remember somebody saying that.
Anyway, that's for another day. That's for the next long, rambling, unstructured video. So on here, this is just kind of. Oh no! What am I trying to do? I'm trying to do this. So just like this is really good for like glitchy drums and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want it for.
So
I just don't want to have to
doing,
fucking
that kind of thing.
program the bastard
I
thing.
don't know what to tell you about this. You can look up videos on what this does, can't you? You're capable of that, right? You can look up videos on what this does. But I just I've been using it for bits of drums. What else have we got? Apparently nothing on that channel. Is this even playing? So that, I sampled a super saw out of this and used it to make that pattern. I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah, Dean,
Guess
I think
the
I'd hate the
sample
tracker as well.
So I think you can do, this is good for like, this does some, you can do some time stretching, easier pitch shifting, it works with loops better,
Yeah.
it works with beat, it does beat slicing,
Yeah.
and it does a lot more complex programming, a lot more easily than the PtAC does. So together, it's all good.
I am tempted for the tracker though.
Oh man, I'm really losing track of what I need to talk about. Oh yeah, so then what I've got going on is
Welcome to
out
my
of
life,
the
Danny.
PtAC, the
None
out
of this
the
shit is
screw and
pre-programmed
merged
in
with
here.
this
It just
MIDI
falls
merge
out of my
box.
mouth.
So that basically means I now have the output of the PtAC and the tracker, then going on to everything else, just daisy chained through the throughs. So I can control everything else with either this or this, just without having to change anything. I can just do it. So that's cool. I need to do experiment more. I think I want to do a track where I make changes to like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the MPC, Vlady.
And so it's fine. It's fine. I'll get to it. It's fine. As you can see, this whole thing's also a mess. I like to keep these little like decorations and things because this is my streaming kind of setup as well. I got that guy there. I got this. My mum
I love the way he
made this
patted it
for
on the
me.
head as he put it
That's
back.
nice, yeah.
Daddy's such an awesome
She
human, he
crocheted
really
it, and
is.
She did this. This is a petrol horse crochet thing that my mum made.
Too cute.
And I got stuff from other bands that I got like when I've met them on tour or something. There's a Glitch Girl face mask. Glitch Girl's a cool like drum and bass and electronic music producer. You should go and check her out. It's a decoupaged horse there.
So do our way, Daddy.
we
Let's
got
have
a
it for the
skateboard
next
with a horse on it.
CLOWNFEST.
Presumably for a very
Wait,
small
wait.
another person.
Wait, I've just had an idea. Danny, do you want to do an entire day at the next CLOWNFEST? That would be fucking amazing. Danny, are you still in? Tell me you're still in. Please tell me you're still in.
There's a toilet there. And yeah, so the streaming side as well. So I've got this light, which is just an LED thing that we can change the colours on to make this absolutely unseeable. There we go, green will do. I think it does white as well. Let's see. There we go. Look, that's nice. Now we can actually see what's going on. So for the streaming, so the output from that mixer just goes into my sound card over there. I stream using OBS. I got a camera there that I use as like the face cam. I've got this arm here, which I put my phone on that, and I have an app called Droid Cam that allows you to use your phone as a webcam. I plug it in by USB to that giant monolith of a computer tower down there. And then I also have this DSLR with a wide angle lens. DSLRs in the UK and Europe, I go from the HDMI out. I've got an adapter that goes into my PC, but the video output shuts off after 20 minutes for tax reasons, so that they can say it's not a camcorder. But if you use an elastic band and a piece of rolled up paper to partially hold down the shutter button, then you can get around that limitation.
Love it! Life hacks all over the
I got those
place.
3 angles. I got just some scenes set up in OBS, and yeah, and that seems to work for me. So I can use my phone to show the detail on the actual device I'm currently working on, and I've got an overall view and a face cam so that you can all see my. You can all see my beautiful face. I'm just going to simulate that now. So it's like that, essentially. I think, how long has this been going for? Oh, that is not long enough. There must be something else I can ramble on about for a while. No, there simply is not. So I'm gonna. You know what I might do? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave like 5 minutes now for questions. So if you ask me a question in the chat, and I'll answer it. So just type them in there.
Honestly, the mind that is Danny Carnage is just insane, and you just taken a 20-minute ride through his studio with his brain. Honestly, the guy is amazing. He really, really is. Friendly as fuck, knows his shit inside out, and he's making waves in the underground music scene at the moment. Danny Carnage, thank you so much for your tour. That was absolutely perfect. So far, favorite tour of this batch of tours. Okay, so whom is up next?
I'm Helier.
Oh, this is funny.
Welcome to my studio, which is a real mess. Nothing's connected. Nothing makes any noises. But it looks pretty. Here we go. To start with, we've got the MPC Live 2, which is the brains. Does samples and stuff, but I tend to not really use it for that. I just use it for its MIDI sequencing. It's like Ableton, nice and easy. Oh, look. So that's powering the TR-8S.
I got one of those.
It's powering the Strikefet.
I don't have one of those.
And Korg Monologue.
Don't have one of those.
Minilog XD. Juno DS. TV3. MS-20. Mini. I've got the Lisa's Perk pad for playing the drums. There's the modular here.
Look at a modular.
Some acid bits and some drum sequencing. Euclidean sequencer. Black hole. I made these. This one's a replica of the MS-20 low pass filter. Messy. Everything goes into the mixer. The mixer goes out. We've got patch bass here. We've got the 3630 compressor. Another compressor. MIDI verb. 18i20 interface. There's the messy desk. There's my decks. There's painting. There's a microphone. There's some spray paint. It's a mess.
I absolutely love that tour.
I'm Helier.
I absolutely love that tour. We went from Danny, who did a really in-depth, here's a 24-minute guide of how my studio works, to Paul Helier, who was like, here's a minute and a half of what I've got. Absolutely excellent. Yeah, and again, just shows the difference between music making is what goes on in here. You know, it's how your brain works. It's how you want your art to come out. You know, Paul Helier works in quite a messy space. So there's not messy space, but you know what I mean, a cluttered space. Let's call it cluttered. Dan does the same. You know, there was bits and pieces, decorations everywhere. For me, as Bob was saying earlier, my room has to be clean, so I'll clean my room. I'll even hoover. It's important that I have shoes on and not flip flops. It's really weird, the psychology of making music. It's absolutely bonkers. Okay, so next up is Hostable.
So this is Hostable coming to you from a random hotel in Amsterdam.
Nice. Nice!
Off hospitable grounds. So yeah, currently in Europe, in Amsterdam, going to be doing a bit of travelling around.
He sounds Irish. Are you Irish,
And
Hospital?
probably loop back here, so hence why I'm in this random place with this weird thing on the wall. But yeah, so I had to kind of change the setup. So this is where we're currently at. I had to leave a lot of some of my favourite synths and equipment behind, but you got to do what you got to do. So I would have started off with kind of stock instruments and different things on like Ableton, and then then got like MIDI keyboards, Launchpad, a few other things, and was doing a DJ controller, and was doing kind of live looping and things like that. And then a bit of a slow descent into synthesis, but yeah, got a few kind of crappy things, a few bits of shite that don't really use anymore, and barely got any use of, to be honest, before making my first big purchase. And by big purchase, I don't actually mean very big. It's kind of small. One of Mark's favourites, the old Volca keys.
No, the Volca butt plug.
Everyone's favourite. Kind of from the Volca onwards, that's kind of, and especially during lockdown, well, it kind of just expanded slowly and slowly till I had like a ridiculous number of synths.
Yeah, we do that,
None of
fella.
which on their own were too expensive, but they definitely add up.
Yep.
I will say gas is definitely a real thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Recently decided I was
syndrome, gas.
gonna venture off, do a bit of travels around Europe, so kind of had to slim down the setup. It's kind of what I have now. Just before heading off, I did a jam outside, so I was decided I'd kind of keep that same setup so I could do, if I wanted, kind of outdoor jams. And
Good
I think there's
evening,
enough
John.
to build kind of tracks, because I have model samples is kind of the brains of the operation, so I use that for all the percussion, and in a way to kind of to drive the track in terms of nearly like scenes, because the rest, whether it's the Volca keys or the old Micro Freak,
Got one of those.
I tend to kind of mess around with them, maybe improvise a bit, where they're less kind of structured. The model samples keeps me focused in on kind of what I'm doing and shit. Kind of the main one I'm missing, I'd say, is the Crave, the Behringer Crave. I
Really?
quite like what that can do. Good solid bass sounds, good arps, good leads, but
That shocks me.
yeah, I had to cut it, unfortunately. But that's pretty what. When I kind of settle in somewhere, if I have a postal address of some sort, I'll probably try to get someone to send over the Crave. Then, well, as a piano player, I was tossing between bringing this and the, what do I have? The Reface CP, which
Okay, yeah.
like, I'm a big fan of, but in terms of cutting down a setup, I feel like there's more I can do with this, because I have I kind of use plugins in Ableton, so I'm going to be using this for some key sounds, and then obviously I can drive some soft synths, and then if I feel like it, also do longer than 16 step sequences on this. Or I do like to also run a Volca sequence while also hitting it with a key step sequence.
Now, I don't mind the Volcas, but the problem I have with the Volcas is you need an external sequencer to make them, to really open them up, because they're only like, is it 4 bars long? 4 bars? Beats to the bar? No, they're only a bar long. They're not 4 bars long, they're only a bar long. So you're going to need something like which is 8 bars long, to open it up, which means you've got to spend more to get more out of it. And that was just my main problem with the Volcas.
Because then they kind of interact, and you get like a cool kind of weird thing going on. Then I brought these as well, but I might have to leave these with a friend on my travels, just because packing light ain't easy, and it was a bit of a struggle getting here from the airport, I will say. So that's kind of like that setup. Then over here I also have an old DJ mixer. Do a show for Irish radio every week, so
I've got one of
I need
those.
to keep this
Close
with
enough.
me, even though this, to be honest, is the most awkward size in terms of packing.
Yeah.
But you know, does the job. And yeah, then I just have the cheap old kind of Behringer interface. And then, well, that's it. Use a gaming laptop to kind of drive it all, because cheaper than Macs, and you can get like a lot of power in it. Here's the shitloads of wires. Loads of wires to. I have more over here. Wires are a pain in the hole. Not the best for wire management. I've only been here a few days, but I had planned on setting these all up. But you know, been busy doing other things. I did actually wake up during the night and this guy kind of freaked me out. Can actually see, can I get this all running? Put a time lapse on and see if we can make something.
What a good idea! What a good idea! Hostapol, nicely done!
Alright, so that should be the setup pretty much. Actually didn't take as long as I thought it would, so I decided to even add in the sound activated lights. Always good fun. Now a studio is complete without some lights.
Facts.
So I'll just open Mr. Ableton. So yeah, this should be the so this is the hout jam that I was doing. So like I was saying, this is we have all the different drums. So it's your kick, bit of snare, some shaker type thing, and some breaks. I actually quite like chopping up breaks on the model samples. Just have to do it by the number. Then some weird vocal chops. This is actually it's actually kind of traditional Irish singing. So I was just chopped into a little, and then we have here, this is just a micro freak doing a nice little sequence. And then yeah, for that low jam I was just sounds a bit mad at the moment, but that's I was just using the Falca keys for that. As I said, don't judge my wire management. In case you get bored of those, I'm going to try and use the what's called the key step. As a piano player, that's kind of my favourite plugin. Even though it's not weighted keys, I have weighted keys back home, but can't be carting them around. But Yeah, as kind of as piano sounds go, like it's the best. It's the closest you can get. I kind of feel, because you can, if you go into the settings, you can change the action and everything on it. So that's PianoTech. So if you look at here, the velocity curve, you can change, and you go through a process so that you can accurately kind of, even on a keyboard like this, you'd be able to do it. But yeah, when I'm traveling again, I'll probably just take this and leave these two, just because it's yeah, I'm gonna sick of carrying stuff around already. But yeah, so that's I kind of use this as a mixer rather than like a hardware mixer. So obviously you have your channels, and then map, say, this to filter, and maybe that to reverb and delay. But then also, can't remember if I have it set up on this project, but I can use these as loopers. So yeah, sorry, I think the first one of these will be sends to the looper. So if I wanted to, I can basically loop any of these. So then add an extra layer, then filter, and yeah, do whatever else. So at the moment I had it that I've split the channels so that I can do kind of heavier work on the kicks without like overly compressing the brakes. So I need to kind of work more on my processing. So say for the kick there's an EQ, because if you have, say, reverb, the other frequencies kind of leak into it because the reverb is stereo. Bear in mind, I don't really know what I'm doing with most of these. So I have a compressor, a drum bus, 2 drum buses for this one, more compressor, saturator, and EQ. This is all kind of done roughly, but then for the rest of the percussion, the drum bus, glue compressor, a little bit of reverb, flanger, kind of various bits and bobs. Then so for this I had a freak channel, so it's a bit of Valhalla reverb, which I think is great. Yeah, I think it was something like that.
How is the sound out there, people?
Yeah, so that's a serious amount of buzz. Which actually, on that topic, I suppose I should say, I have these yokes are a godsend. Got them cheap on, I think it was Canable. Little ground loop isolator, because especially using like USB and stuff, there's sometimes a serious amount of buzz. Can even hear a bit now, it's still going, but maybe that's just a speaker.
The reason it's bass heavy is because his voice just lives in that bass tones.
For different settings, have it as, I suppose, like, not supposed to be mapped like that, but have these for channels on and off, maybe levels, but I do tend to just control the levels on the actual synths. So I'm thinking some effects and some sends for the looper, so I can work and especially try and loop this. Because yeah, it's something I used to do more, but I haven't done it in a good while. Got too lost in the synths themselves, so having a limited setup will probably be good for getting me kind of back into kind of the power of Ableton and doing more like hybrid setup where I can run a lot of stuff in Ableton. For me particularly, it's the loopers, which I do always love, because that's kind of where I started. So yeah, I've signed them for looping, Because yeah, I would have started with just
My looper.
MIDI keyboard and using a pedal for looping. So yeah, I suppose that's kind of my setup. I'm only here another night and I'm heading out, so probably won't get much use of these here, but I'm going to be bringing what I can on the rest of my travels. So it is a pain in the hole trying to move everything, but
it really is.
this is
I
what I'm going
understand
to
your
be
pain.
working with for the next pretty few months. So yeah, hopefully I can do some work with it and make some good tunes. Cheers, guys.
Another great studio tour. Hostapol, it brings us closer together. I can now put a face to your name, you know, and I know what you work with, how you work. Loving the outside videos that you've done. Yeah, honestly, great fucking tour. I love the time lapse in the middle as well to show us how you set things up. That was fucking genius. All right, Hostapol, thank you so much for your contribution to CLOWNFEST 9 Day 4. Probably going to say that a lot. Okay, so I have no idea who's next up. Literally, I just loaded them up, and it's pull the and we'll see.
Hello guys.
Hey!
My name is Philip.
Phil, are you online, mate? Hold on, wait. Before we do this. Phil, are you online? Are you at home? Are you sitting comfortably? If you're still on the back of the bus, I can move yours to a later date when you might be sat on your bottom, maybe with a cold brewski and a nice fat fiery spliff. Let me know if you're at home. Shall I go ahead and play this? Just came back. Brilliant. Right, let's do it then, Phil.
Nick, and I was asked to provide a studio tour. Unfortunately, I don't have a studio, but I have a shelf. The shelf is my studio, so actually I have a studio. So don't know how to start this, but actually before I show you my studio, no, I don't have a studio. Anyway, no. Maybe I'll start it again. Okay. Hi, I'm Philip. Yeah, I'm Philip. No. Right, I'm Philip. This is my real name. I use the name Corgovnik or Corgovnik. This is my nickname. This is for Mark.
Yeah.
Especially for Mark. So I'm Corgovnik and this is my studio. Right, before we start,
I remember when I asked this guy to show us his studio, he's like, I don't have one. I'm like, you do? You've got like a shelf full of kit. He's like, it's not really a studio and it's kind of small. I'm like, dude, studios are studios. Some people, like their entire studio, it lives here, lives in one of these. You know, Matt Dobbs is one of those people. And he showed us around his, whatever the hell he was using. I think he was using Reason. No? Yeah, he was using Reason and a bunch of fucking VSTs. If that's all you've got for a studio, it does not matter. It really does not matter. Matt Dobbs made a 10-minute video out of fucking Reason and some fucking plugins. Ridiculous. Honestly, you've got enough kit, Phil, and I'm looking forward to this.
few words where I came from. And my music background start actually from playing the drums on the drums. I'm a drummer. I play sometimes. Still enjoying jam sessions with my friends, but not committing really to the band because it takes a lot of time and effort. And living in London, especially in London, makes you feel like, well, it's only a few moments, and then the people leave, people migrate, and then you can't really build up on the band.
Yeah,
from my
I get
perspective. So I enjoy the sessions with my friends. We jam, we play, we meet, we have a nice time.
I wanna get together with Phil.
The music, I would say. So this is my top shelf. This is where my whole journey starts from the music, the basics of the music. I would say if the whole electricity in the world would be switched off, then we go back to the basics and we play the drums. We use the sounds, the basics of the sounds. So yeah, that's the my top shelf of my shelf studio. At the very bottom of this is the old retro Roland, which actually I've got this from my friend. Opened once, but it's really old and retro, so I'm just keeping this for well, I don't know, because it's just kind of like piece of equipment which is music history. Anyway, yeah. Next middle shelf is actually is this. You can see the junctions, the transitions.
Yeah, we've all got one of those.
All sorts of yeah, you know that, especially if you play in the middle of the night and you don't have
Janice has just turned up. How's it going, my
or
love?
say like cables or even mixer, then you do, and you use these funny things just to connect your gear. Rest of this is it's the same. My old computer just crashed a few weeks ago, and I got loads of videos and also my music recorded, my rehearsals and stuff. I hope someone will help me with this. That's actually my computer, which I use to edit my videos. Mostly videos, because I don't know how to use Ableton or the other Pro Tools or something, you know, or some sort of software which actually the professionals use.
Ableton's really easy, really easy once you get a template sorted.
This is where I work actually, because this is my working place, and also a little bit of music space, because I'm a construction manager and I work in construction industry.
Hello, Joey.
Right, so
Lirac City.
This is my
I think I've
actual
pronounced that right.
shelves. The gear I use is, maybe let's start from the top one. It's Roland JDXI. It's I bought this not a long time ago, just to see how Roland works, because obviously I'm Corgovnik, so I use the Cork machines. Somehow I've just end up with that stupid fucking nickname. Anyway, sorry for that. So I got the Roland JDXI just to have a little look and just to feel the Roland systems and Roland say like sounds and how to use it, based on just out of curiosity basically. So yeah, I've got this little Roland JDXI. Just below this, it's my lovely mini Cork synthesizer and vocoder.
Got one of those.
Which is very old, and yeah, it's just falling apart. Some keys doesn't work.
Oh,
but still,
just as long as the sound comes out of it, it's all that matters.
Anyway, I use this mini Cork, micro Cork, sorry, for say like as additional source of sounds, or sometimes the vibes, which sometimes when you play your track you got this little something missing, and this little beauty can give you that.
Yeah, it's a great synth.
Next to the
my second synth I ever bought, actually.
Roland ZDXI, I got Cork Oscillator Pro,
I got
which
one of
is
those.
I'm still learning on that one. I thought it's very basic and primitive, but I'm just discovering it more and more.
Well,
so
the sounds are kind of basic and
sometimes
primitive.
if I miss something in terms of background or third party sound, put it this way, I use this little beauty, and it sounds decent, and you can loop it nicely. Obviously it's connected to the Cork Chaos Pad, so those two are connected. I'm not using this machine as Mark used to use for overall effects and sounds overall through the mixer. It's just basically on the I'm using this as a obviously effect, which I got this connected, and also I got Cork micro Cork connected to this one, so they both under this.
I do the same sort of thing. We'll get into this a little bit later. I've got a couple of mini chaos pads, like I say, 3 run through the main one. There's a mini chaos pad on the sampler and a mini chaos pad on the Micro Freak. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Little beauty. Yeah. Right below it is a little old
I've got one of those.
chaos pad.
It's in the
which,
mini rig.
works on the batteries. It's very useful, especially if you play somewhere on the field.
Yep.
You can plug in batteries. It works perfectly with our next position, which is the hated new Electribe sampler. I mean the Electribe sampler number 2, which I bought it not a long time ago, maybe a year ago. I found about this machine. I found there is loads of negative comments and loads of I don't want to say hate, but
No, say hate. You can say hate. Here at Clown Central, we do not like that box whatsoever at all. And again, somebody else, it was Art Black earlier who had one, and you know, this just needed a few upgrades, just a few upgrades, and it would have been the best box in the world. And instead, they gave us this gnarly piece of God knows what, whatever it is here. It's a very capable box for what it does, but for the love of God, don't you dare put the Electribe stamp on that. It is not an Electribe. It is a sack of turds. Anyway, on with the show.
disbelief in that little groove box, but I would say it's very useful. Just I found the sampler, it's very limited as on the very first version on that machine, but obviously let's give it a chance and a go for this one, and hopefully more people will be.
Yeah, Phil, like I say, for what that box does, it's very, very capable. 16-channel sequencer, brilliant. You know, the noises inside, very commercial, but very nice. She is kind of easy to play with, but I'm sure I saw the ESX next to it. She's not a patch, not a fucking patch on the originals. Anyway.
Convinced to this little machine.
Hold me back!
Which I am. It really works good for me, especially since I have a few machines and few groove boxes. I use this as a sort of just couple sounds, not all of them obviously, and itself sounds decent. And as I said, it works on batteries, so you can use it on the field and mix and combine with micro Korg or this little chaos pad.
Yep, I agree with everything Phil's saying here.
Next position is the old.
Oh, Bob, Phil, I'm really sorry to have to keep pausing yours, but Bob says, poor PtAC clone, the Electribe must have been traumatic. You have absolutely no idea, right? I had the original Electribes, all 3 of them. The E, the A, and the R, and they were lovely. They were absolutely fucking gorgeous and wonderful and lovely. All right, and then Korg go and do this, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a step up. That's amazing. And then a few years later, Korg said, hey, Clown Boy, guess what? We're gonna give you a 2nd generation of these. And I'm thinking, you're fucking kidding me. Please tell me. All I want on it is separate outs. Yeah, separate outs. Better effects routing, so they don't all fucking share it. A nice synth engine, and you're away. Maybe double the length of it. That'd be fucking beautiful. Maybe put a sample on this one as well, so that it's just all in one, so you don't have to get the 2. Oh, that would be lush. No, that's not what we got. When I opened it and I looked at it, and I'm like, what the fuck is that then? It looks like a... Oh God, what is it? Key step? What's the... Anyway, it looks fucking horrific. Honestly, it is. You have no idea how disappointed I was. I was thinking to myself, all the bad points on this will have been addressed, and they'll have made it better, and it'll be fucking like that, but on steroids. No, we got a toy. We got a toy. And do you know what bugs me even more? Right? the Volcas are pretty much EMX tech, just deconstructed. Are you kidding me? You can pick one of these up for 350. Yeah, that's going to cut 2 Volcas, and you're at the 350 mark, pretty much. I'm going to shut up.
Type SX, my lovely Korg is just, as you can see, it's falling apart. Have no little screws, and it's really old one. But this Korg machine was actually my second one, because the first one was obviously Korg Electrotype MX, which is just beauty in its basics and its simplicity, which I've actually started my journey from those 2 machines, which is 2 old electrotypes, because by the time I bought them, I was playing with my brother as a duo. So he was using the Roland 808, and I was having those 2 little beauties, and actually that was enough to make the dance floor moving. And
yeah, absolutely, Phil, absolutely.
Simple beats. If you were lucky and you got the great sound system, then there we go. We got a beautiful techno from those 2 simple machines. But anyway,
absolutely.
coming back to our story, I got this obviously Electrotypes. The very next one is the new Electrotype MX, which also I haven't read any positive comments about this one. Well, maybe few, but to be fair, it wasn't that many of them. So this is my girlfriend's groovebox, because she also play on grooveboxes.
Nice, nice.
Really good one. So she prefers DJing instead of making the beats and playing on the grooveboxes. But I could say she's really decent. So yeah, she plays on those 2 grooveboxes sometimes with me. And the very next one and the last one in our position is actually this little beauty. It makes sounds, but obviously now it's the battery is gone. But this special position is as you sometimes got the visitors with your friends, your mates, your workmates, or whoever comes to your place. There is some kids with them, and the kids are always curious why this old bleeping machines and stuff, what they do, and can I touch it and all that. So I always say this is very good that some kids are curious about the machines, because this is the beauty of life and the curiosity. So there is a very good start from this little red one with the stars. It makes sounds. Of course, I'm sorry I cannot present it now because the battery is gone. Oh no, there is some batteries. So yeah, the kids absolutely like it. You got basic samples. So yeah, that's my little studio.
Here we go with a bit more panning. Right, let's just pause that there. Phil, that's a great setup, mate. That is a great setup. There is, like, honestly, that is a great like 4 groove boxes, 3 synths, some chaos pads. Honestly, that is a great fucking setup, mate.
As I said, it's one shelf studio, so it's not much.
It is. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It's mine, and I like it.
Good. You should.
Yeah. Oh, and the last position is the mixer I use. I'm sorry, I just forgot to.
Not another Soundcraft, please.
Describe it. Basically, is Pro FX16.
Samaki.
I found it very useful. The sound's very decent, and yeah, this is my whole setup. The sometimes if I need, I use this little Oxygen 8 MIDI keyboard to control the sounds from say like my broken computer, but obviously it's long time gone, so until I repair it then I can't really use it. But for the showdown, I'll just plug it on. I thought it could be.
We've gone back over to the left.
Nice. So yeah, this is where I live. This is where I work. And That's my studio. Sorry guys for video quality. I hope you enjoyed the show. And this is me. Hi, my name is Philip. I'm Corgovnik. So yeah, thank you very much for being for letting me be a. Never mind, guys. Thank you very much.
Absolutely beautiful. See, like, it's hard to just rant shit at people, you know? Like, filming yourself is really difficult, you know? Yeah. Come into the studio sometime, Phil, and let's host the show together. I think you'd be awesome for the job. And that was great. That was a good tour, Phil. Thank you so much. Like, this is why I do this. Music is made in so many different ways and by so many different people in different ways, with different kit, with the same kit, with kind of the same kit. And that's the whole reason why I do this. Phil, you just became more friendly because of that fucking video, man. That was absolutely awesome. I love the bit when you were like, yeah, I give this to the kids to play with, because, you know, keep them interested and stuff. My little nieces and nephews, they've all hit puberty now and have turned into horrible teenagers. But when they're a little bit younger, they used to come in and play with the chaos pads and stuff. I just have a beat going and they just kind of hammer the, you know. And it is important to get people involved in music from an early age. Who was I to? Oh, Tim. Apparently, one of his sons got a drum machine and a Volca in his room at the moment, and the kid's got the little girl's got a Yamaha keyboard. You know, it's important to keep the interest there. You know, Phil, great fucking addition to CLOWNFEST 9, mate. All right, who's next? Oh, this is Leaf. This is going to be hilarious.
Hey Andy, you right? It's Leaf. This is Don. We're gonna try and go through the set for you. Hopefully it'll make sense. You got a light on this? Right, Britannia is about 2 minutes long. We haven't really got endings for him, so we just guess that. It starts off with me doing a bit of lead, and then we kick into the thing. We'll go for it.
I don't want money, I want change. No dollar bills, just some cents. Keep stacking up the dead presidents. Stop paying taxes for the residents of royal feudal halls. Govern yourselves, Britannia waives the rules. Britannia waives the rules. Misruling Britannia, Britannia waives the rules. Misruling Britannia, Britannia waives the rules.
This is a studio tour. Leaf, you in the building, fella?
The government are taxes, they have you by the balls. And if you miss a payment, a bailiff calls. Kill a player of food bank, you're working for fuck all. Pay no heed to what you're told, Britannia waives the rules. Misruling Britannia, Britannia waives the rules. Misruling Britannia,
okay, he's showing us his... Okay.
Misruling Britannia, Britannia waives the rules.
Yeah, Charlie, I agree, mate. It's very clever.
They keep building prisons, not hospitals or schools. Spread the fear of COVID, put 6 million on the dole. Sell off every industry, build the HS2. Charging for electricity, making nuclear fuel. Raising tax essential. Britannia waives the rules. Britannia waives the rules. Misruling Britannia, Britannia waives the rules.
I think that's very clever wordplay.
Britannia waives the rules.
Britannia waives the rules. Or something like that.
I think that's genius play on words. Genius play on words. Not sure we're going to get much spoken word out of Leaf on this one.
So that was Tony Ways the Rules. Next is
Destroy.
Destroy something expensive. Okay, it starts off sort of slow, but not that slow.
Destroy something expensive. It's time to sabotage. You know we're not safe with that. Tories in charge. Destroy something expensive. Don't stay on board. Don't destroy the HS2 and things we can't afford. Destroy something expensive. Like Hinkley Point C. Unless you're happy with that radioactivity. Destroy something
expensive. I'm to that gig. Klein Jules.
Lockdown is over.
Yeah, I'm stood next to Leaf at this point.
Destroy something expensive. If you're fed up and skint, destroy something expensive.
Yeah.
And save us all a mint. Destroy something expensive. And we could feed our kids. Or we
Mr. Wiggly.
could heat our homes. Destroy something expensive. You won't be on your own. Destroy it. Destroy it now. Just get rid of HS2 and save us £500 billion.
Okay, plastic.
I just want to take a moment to say that Leaf blames me for the start of Brain Sniff, and I'm happy with that. Massively happy with that. It was like, look, if we hadn't gone into lockdown and you were doing CLOWNFEST, then I probably wouldn't have made a band. So, you know, thanks to you, this exists. I think Brain Sniff are going to be, have got a very important message, and I think that, you know, like Don's lyrics are really, really, really fucking good. You know, they've got Brain Sniff have got an amazing message. It's a bit angry and angst, but it's got a fucking amazing message behind it. And this is something that I really, really, really like. So yeah, Brain Sniff.
Sniff is acoustically, I mean not acoustically, without distortion, sorry. I can't probably all over again. Probably my life, is it?
I could have chatted over this bit, goddammit.
Everything is plastic crap these days. Everything is plastic crap. Use it once it melts, it's snap. Everything is plastic crap these days. Plastic, 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 plastic. Crap, 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 crap these days. Plastic, 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 plastic. Crap, 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 crap these days. Everything is plastic crap. Everything is plastic crap. Use it once it melts, it snaps, and throw it all away. Everything is plastic crap. Use it once it melts, it snaps, it never, ever, ever goes away. Everything
Everything is plastic crap. Use it once, it makes it snaps. It never, ever, ever goes away. Sorry about that, I fucked it up.
Yeah, you didn't think it was going to be conventional when I asked Leaftech to do a studio tour, did you? And this is perfect.
Fashion. Lady Gaga in absolute fashion. David Beckham aftershave fashion. Moving conservative fashion. I wanna be a sheep and follow all the crowd. I wanna hear some Westlife really, really loud. I wanna have some Folinos and do tempos about. I'm threatening all the winners. Oh, yeah, oh, fashion. Lady Gaga in a meat suit fashion. David Beckham aftershave fashion.
Hey Brad, how's it going, my man? Glad you've got to work. Oh, Christ almighty, that was the end of that. I got fucking... Okay, well, like I said, you were never expecting conventionality. Conventionality? Is that even a fucking word? Have I just invented a word? I might have just invented a word. From Leaftech when I asked him to do it, and that was perfect, you know. Kind of breaks up the flow of the day and gives you something completely different. So that was an acoustic, I guess, as acoustic as they get. Brain Sniff. I really think that Don's lyrics are great. They don't beat around the bush. I genuinely think if Brain Sniff can keep a lineup together and get into a studio where a sound engineer can really get into their stuff, they're going to release some gnarly punk. Right, Danny Oskid, you are up next, my man. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Hello CLOWNFEST, hello clowns. I'm Danny Oxid. Welcome to my studio tour.
Booming.
I'm 42 years old.
46.
Single parenting father of 3 daughters. We have 2 dogs, and I'm working full time as a nurse. So unfortunately, I don't have that much time to spend on music. We are living in a small village in Germany, and I've prepared something over here. So here we got a rough sketch from Germany. There it goes to France, there's the UK, there's Eastern and Southern. We've got Hamburg, we've got Berlin, we've got Frankfurt and Munich. We're about here, quite nowhere. So, actually no music scene or lots of people around here. So it all started back in the 80s when I either wanted to learn to play the piano or the drums, and my parents just said the piano is much too expensive, the drums are much too loud. So it was this little Yamaha piano, Yamaha keyboard, where I took some lessons. And that really taught me some musical theory basics like chord progressions and scales and things like that. So then later in the 90s, when I've been a teenager, I felt completely for electronic music, starting with the Prodigy's Out of Space, then later since their Voodoo People remix, the Chemical Brothers, Left Field, Fatboy Slim, but also some house things like Daft Punk, Basement Jaxx, and stuff like that. And of course I wanted to be a DJ, and I've been to Berlin Love Parade and things like that. It was really a great time. So in the early 2000s, I've been really bored of electronic music. So when I finished school, I became a nurse, and from that money I've earned, I bought my first used drum kit and a guitar, and I've been making music with some of my friends, but with no success. Then later, it was family time, like getting married, having children, working house and things like that, divorce, long boring story, I won't bother you with that. So in the meantime I've been playing drums and guitar in several local cover bands without any success, and I've been more into electronic music again, and I definitely wanted to make my own music and put in all my influences, not any specific genre I wanted to do. And I've been checking on where to start, and I thought, an Electribe 2 would be some good idea. It comes with the Ableton license, and I've got beats and I've got melodies, and I won't waste too much money if it won't work out. Did that, and
actually, he's hit the nail right on the head there. It is a cheap box. I picked mine up for about $150, I think. The one in Cash Converters is $199 at the moment, but that is the sample. They are great for starter boxes. If you want to get into it and you buy one of those and you actually get on with it, then you're gonna have such an easy time with the rest of your kit, that you buy, except for the Electron stuff. Anyway, Danny.
It was some fun for almost a whole year. Where I've only been learning Ableton, I've been learning the Electribe, I've been reading about MIDI, about studio gear, I've been watching tutorials, I've been learning and learning again for all I needed, and building up slowly after some time with audio interfaces, monitors, an extra laptop only for music, headphones, and things like that. So in the beginning of 2020, I bought my first real synth, the Minilog XD.
Good start, mate. Good start.
Then COVID came, and
Jesus! Wait! Whoa! Okay, so we had the Electribe beforehand, and then we had the Minilog lockdown. Did you just do nothing in lockdown but buy synths?
Several other things you can see here in my setup. And I spent really lots of time in my studio. It really kept me from burning out or getting depressive or anything like that. And still most of the evenings I'd rather spend 1 or 2 hours up here making music instead of watching TV or anything like that. So some time ago, maybe some of you might have seen it, my studio looked like this.
Okay, I remember that setup.
That made my back hurt, and I actually wanted to have a little more live music feeling.
Jasper's, right?
So I actually bought this Jasper stand and reorganized everything. There we have the already mentioned Minilog XD, the Korg Wave State, Roland TR-8S, the Electribe, which is actually the heart and the sequencing thing here, TD3, Fretlabs, Terror, the Wasp, some guitar effects, Microkorg XL Plus, Crave, Argon 8, ePiano, and it's all hooked up by MIDI USB. Yes, I'm using hubs on hubs. They're all not powered. So the two audio interfaces, these are the specs of my old laptop, and hybrid, because if I just turn on Ableton, I already got all the tracks armed. So this is actually my hybrid setup. It's all connected by the DAW, and I can either control it by my DAW or just go DAWless and just jam around. Or I can just, by the push of one button, record it all on as MIDI on Ableton and then work later on it, which is really great. So for writing, I'm either jamming there or sometimes I use other instruments like a guitar. Maybe you know this. And that later got the Argonauts. So that was my little studio tour. I hope you enjoyed it and it wasn't too boring.
No, it was perfect,
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or follow me on Facebook, Insta, Bandcamp, or whatever, all social media. Have fun on CLOWNFEST and see you next time. Bye bye.
We'll have a set from Danny at the next CLOWNFEST. I think there is going to be another one. I can't not do any more. That just seems daft. Danny, thank you so much for your contribution to CLOWNFEST 9, day 4. Oh, wait. Okay, just checking how many we've got left to go. And there are 2 tours left. So, I mean, we've been streaming for longer than I thought we would. I thought the show was only going to be like an hour and a half long, but everybody's putting nice long tours that are kind of funny, so it's excellent. So yeah, maybe I'll do a little tour. Maybe not. Maybe I'll play a little bit on the Beast. Maybe not. I mean, you've all heard me talk about my kit like enough. Surely you don't want me to do another fucking talk on it. Anyway, Danny, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to put that together. Again, brings us closer together. I now know what you look like as a human, what you sound like as a human, and how you work and stuff like that. So that's all. It's awesome. Okay, so next up we have Is it PRF? Yes, PRF, Richard Lambo. And again, this guy fretting about the studio tour and all my studio's messy and blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. The stuff you produce is absolutely gorgeous, and that's what counts. It doesn't matter how, where, why you produce, it just counts that you do produce. And you do produce some lovely music. So, anyway, here we go.
Right,
ending with the degenerates.
This is going to be real simple.
I did have a little listen to this as he sent it over, because he was like, "Oh, I don't like it. It's horrible. Blah blah blah. It's and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that." And Jesus Christ, he's got a voice like chocolate, runny, warm chocolate. So, Rich, I'll rewind you back. Here we go. I hope you're watching, mate. Yeah, yes.
All right, everybody. This is going to be real simple, real raw, simply because I haven't had the opportunity to finish getting everything put together the way I wanted to before this deadline. So, real quick, I have my somewhat modest stand here, keyboards.
Modest.
I gotta start with this one, the JP8000.
Old
I wanted one of these. This might be the first synthesizer I truly lusted after. Wanted one for many years. Ended up having money put down on one at a music store, one of the last new ones in the box they had, probably like 12, 15 years ago. No, yeah, probably longer than that.
Yeah, way longer than that.
And went to pick it up that day and it was gone. So then proceeded for years just to look for one. I finally found one a couple years back. It still has issues. It's the same issues they all have with the outputs. I still love it, and it's it. Now that I have one, I will never part with it. Then it kind of leads to the System 8, which
how's the sound out there, people?
Is basically the evolution of the JP8000. Those of you who know me know that I have a lot of gripes about rolling gear, and yet I still have a good bit of it because there's still things about them I love, mainly the sound. And this one here has got a ton of it. So good piece. Definitely like to. Definitely never parting with this one either. More recent acquisition and kind of in a whole other class, pretty much than anything else I have, is the Summit. This has definitely become my favorite synth. Yeah, you can see I got cables sitting on it because I don't even have
the Summit
hooked up all the way.
Is it the Summit? What's that?
Just, I mean, those of you who have them or have a peak, you know this thing's phenomenal.
Yeah, Summit.
And deep, and just fully featured as hell. So definitely another piece I'm fond of. Let's see here. And my last of my keyboard synths. I know some Electron really divides people. I know it's a lot of love and hate. I love the thing, and at the same time, it irritates the hell out of me. It irritates me like with anything Electron that if I don't use it for a while, I get too busy with work, and I come in here and I have to like sit there and try to figure out what I'm doing.
Boom ting. I can't be dealing with that. I had the A4 without the keys. Oh my god, the thing sounded amazing. The noises that came out of it were just lush, but like, remembering its workflow was just like, oh my god, no.
Again, because of all the, function key commands and all that other stuff. But the sequencer is so much fun to play with. So once again, another piece I'll never part with this unless they ever come out with a Mark II for the keys. Because just having the keys on it, I think it just gives it something extra.
Yeah, I totally agree.
More fun to play with.
I thought I was bidding on an Access actually, Access Virus, and then that turned up.
What else? What can I say about it? Pretty much everybody has one or two or three anywhere. Acid on the cheap. Force. Still learning this thing. Had it for months. Still has a lot that I have not sorted out yet, but it makes one heck of a brain of a central nervous system for everything else. And I'm loving how I can flip projects back and forth between this and Ableton. Definitely a powerhouse on its own. Rhythm, same thing with the analog keys. Awesome piece of machinery. If I had a complaint, it's probably the kick drum synth, and that's down to, even though I've had it for years and I've fiddled with it for years, I can't quite seem to get a kick out of it that I want.
Really?
In fact, I end up being better most of the time getting kicks out of the keys. I find it easier to program what I like. I don't understand why fully.
That's insane.
That being said, this thing's still great. Sometimes I'll just use it as a for one-shot effects that I can just modify and warp. New edition, real new.
Yeah, it's not.
Have not had it sorted yet.
Yeah, I don't know how
Still
its
working on
architecture
it.
at all.
One for a while. Had the original, loved it. This thing looks
got one of
like
those.
such an upgrade from the original.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I had to get
Which
it.
I got to go for a wee.
I actually missed the original. I parted with it. New monitors. To all you people that helped me just pick those out, thank you again. Big screen for Ableton because I'm old and I'm blind. So play with this a lot. Actually, I figure out a lot of stuff here. Circuit, before when I want to sit on the sofa and still like want to mess around with something, an idea, or sometimes just to pull myself away from everything else. Novation controller, SL Mark III. This thing is a fantastic keyboard controller. Sometimes it's fun just to hook it up to Ableton, put a bunch of plugins on tracks, route them, and just use the sequencer on this to come up with ideas. Definitely a great, powerful device. Love it. Over here, I've got my PC. Yes, I like blinky lights. Really. Pretty powerful. About 2 years old now, so probably the specs are probably not all that fantastic by today's standards. But when I built it 2 years ago, it was definitely future-proofed it. First AMD processor build I've done in over 10 years. I've had no regrets about making that choice. And 32 gigs of RAM, so I've been able to just stack plugins to my heart's desire. That's pretty much it. The other little mentions, of course, I've got my bass effects pedal for my bass, my Schecter, which I love and I don't touch nearly enough. One other item of curiosity, I've got my Theramini. It's a lot of fun, but I'm actually trying to find an adapter so I can put it on a mic stand and play with it a little bit more. Behringer RD8 because, well, just because I wanted one. And I have a drum machine fetish. There will be no intervention. Or I will not be seeking help. Controllers, I attempted the whole machine ecosystem thing for a while. I may still go back and try it. I don't know, but it's not where I'm focused right now. That's pretty much it. I know it's a short video and it's not very glitzy, but thanks for checking it out and hanging out with me.
God, I've forgotten your name. It says it over there. Rich. There we go. Rich, awesome tour. Awesome tour. You have some absolutely fucking diamond pieces of kit in your collection. A few that I would absolutely love. And I miss my analog keys. I really, really do. But I just, if I'm going to program that much, I'll go into Ableton. Just felt a bit. But yeah, just they're so deep. The Electron kit is ridiculous. But yeah, dope setup. Really, really nice setup. I'd like to see more from you at the URL, Rich. Really, really would. Right, we've come to the last tour of the day. Okay, so do you want me to do a little rig rundown, both my rig rundowns, and maybe play a track or two after this? Let me know. If you don't, I won't. Because 2.5 hours is a good. It's not bad at all. I didn't think it was going to be that long. I thought it was going to be an hour and a half. I was shitting my pants this morning. We had like six in. We've now got like 11, I think it is. So yeah. So yeah, if you want me to play give you a little rig rundown, let's just say yes or no.
Hey folks, Degenerate here, Charlie Ryan. Clownfest 9. Fucking 9 of these bastards already. So I'll do a quick studio tour type thing and we'll have a look at some shit here. And just slate everything I own. It's a piece of shit, isn't it?
Oh, it's only 7 minutes long. No.
Okay, what have we here? Cyclone Analogic TT303 bass bot. And here we are totally ripping off the Roland TB303 with a lovely little synth for those acidy type noise, and this barks a lot. It's cool. And when paired with one of these, rat pedal for distortion, sounds fucking really good, yeah. Fucking yeah, man. This here is Behringer's TD3MO. MO stands for modded out, and what they did was basically put a dying budgie inside here. And when you turn one of these, it just goes chirp, 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 chirp. Everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Someone else understands the pain and the torment that I go through with the TD3MO. It's like they've taken a fucking the original and they've just squished it somehow. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
So yeah. Piece of shit. Here is an M Audio Venom synth, which has a couple of half decent sounds on it. What you'd want to use the digital editor that comes with it in your DAW or whatever to really get to grips with it, because there's not that many controls on the front panel.
I almost bought one of those.
Shit, no, it's actually just doubles up with the really expensive mini keyboard for me. I keep saying that. Also uses one of the worst terms in the world, virtual analog, which is a fucking oxymoron. Should kill the fucker that came up with it, but yeah, that's that. Over here we have a little TV, which is super important if you like TV. Underneath it is a micro freak. That's what she said last night, huh? Yeah, so that's a tidy little synth there with the new update for that. Is really fucking good. It opens up a lot of more things in it. Talking shit here. If you have one, upgrade their firmware to the latest edition. Some really good stuff. Nice little digital synth. It doesn't pretend to be anything it's not. APC40 for controlling Ableton. It's the Mark II one. The harmonica inside in this. Harmonious Kaz. Over here there's the Behringer Neutron, which is a semi-modular fucking whatever. You can get some really good sounds out of it. It's fucking mad, really. It's good for fucking more experimental music, but you could always just say, yeah, it's shit. No, it's not. Kinda is, kinda isn't. It's an acquired taste, but if you want some far out kind of sounding shit, definitely go for one of those. They're at the price, they're fucking well worth it. Hold the camera up there, Charles! And, oh yeah, while we're here, just staring at it, it is Adam A7X monitors. Good sound. They are paired with an M Audio 12-inch sub. My sneakers! You know those fucking things. Yeah. Microphone! Which I'm not using now, I'm using the phone's mic. Hello. Behringer RD9, go bump skiddy, bump skiddy, bump skiddy. SE02. Quite nice little synth from Roland. Very fat sounding analog fucking pads and leads. It's good. Behringer TD3 2X. In fairness, I'll give them their credit where they sound pretty good when you do not have the distortion switched on. When you turn it on, it's fucking budgie city again. Yeah. So that's why it's yellow. I fucking love budgies. Yeah. Smiley budgies. Smiley budgie. What's he, a fucking gangster? Smiley budgie. Korg MS-20. You probably know I've had that for fucking years. But I got that recently. The SQ1. The SQ1. That's just sequencer for DSC. Behringer sound card here. I just use that for fucking taking out on the road if I'm going doing DJ gigs later, or whatever. And it all goes through here then. Our Soundcraft.
What is it with Soundcraft?
12 multi-tracking via USB. 12 inputs, outputs, whatever. Channels. Loads of knobs. Knob City. And here we have another monitor. Because believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, you are supposed to have two of them. Buy two, get none free. None free, and the priests are incarcerated. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Here we have some Super Mario mystery item box. And this, of course, essential for every studio, is Death Metal Batman. The blue fuck. Batman's into Cannibal Corpse now. Yeah, that's all the electronic shit, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, there's a thingy in there. What do you even call these? Fucking Zogs box? Zogs box?
That used to be mine!
It needs a bit of work. I'm send that to get fixed.
Yeah, Charlie stuffed it in a bag when he went somewhere and it broke.
Cars and shit back here. That's actually the first thing. Synthesizer I've ever owned. Some
West Country down for a while.
Stations. Oh yeah, that is an AK-47 guitar, which is pretty fucking essential shit, really, isn't it? You know, Marvin the Martian headphones. which were a present. Because when we originally started making music, me and my friend Colin, we were so broke, we were using a set of cheap Marvin the Martian headphones as a microphone. Yeah.
Nice.
I knew about that and got me those as a present, as a reminder to stay humble. Fuck him, I'm huge now. Ha ha. Oh, just a flying asshole here. Flying asshole. Motherfucker. So that's about it, guys, really. Yeah, there's some fucking sound misdirection plates, that's what I call them, because shit used to bounce around from bass traps in the corner. Bass trap! Sounds like an album from an earlier. Bass trap! Yeah, so everybody's probably getting motion sickness from the way I'm filming this fucking shit, so I'll bid you adieu and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.
And so wraps up another studio tour day-ish. Okay, so you say this to actually want me to give you a rig rundown. Okay, then let's do that. Charlie, great tour, exactly as expected. Some funny moments. You're a funny guy, dude. It comes across in the tour. Yeah, met you a few times as well. You're an awesome fellow. Thank you so much for your contribution to CLOWNFEST 9 day, whatever it is. For my heart's racing now that I've got to do this. Okay, all right. Well, I've got to remove toweling. Oh, we'll do that in a minute when we do that rig. All right, I'll pop that back a bit. Oh, it's on the bed. Oh yeah, that. Okay, is that better? That's better. Right now I've got to change my mic over. One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two, one, two. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Go off. 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 There we go. Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Oh no, wait, I've got to turn the filters off here as well. Give me a minute. One, two, 1 2. Okay, so we'll see how that goes in a minute. Okay. Okay, so you can all hear me. Don't know what's making a noise there. Oh, there we go. Turn the hydro off as well. Okay, so this is my hybrid rig. Just catch my breath. And the hybrid rig is hybrid. It uses both computer-based and hardware, and this is how she's powered. She's powered with a Mac. The Mac is the main brain. She handles all the MIDI to the synths. She doesn't send MIDI to. She just sends start and stop to these two, and they run on internal sequences. I got this about a year ago, and because I've changed things around so much, and I've been working over here a little bit more, I know absolutely nothing about this box really. I've not spent any time with it at all, and that's a real fucking shame. So yeah, I use Ableton for kicks and stuff. Let's just that'll do. So, like somebody was saying earlier that that it was hard to get a groove going with software. Not that fast, thank you. Oh no, that's the snare, that's not what I want. me, it seems just as quick there as it is on in hardware. So yeah, Ableton handles all the drums. There's a stutter edit on as well. Why is that not working? So yeah. So Ableton spits time clock to everything. I've got a couple of controllers for Ableton. I've got the MPD 218, I don't know what this is, the APC Mini, and the MIDI mix over here. So this one handles stutter edit, this one handles clip edit, and this one handles, I think, filter. Yeah. Maybe some delay. Yeah. And then this one handles volume over here. So pretty simple setup. What sync box you got, Mark? For nothing. Literally, they run mostly USB through a USB MIDI hub to mostly everything. There is a couple of things that are backed up with MIDI. I think the Hydrasynth is a master keyboard and can control sounds from all of this. Okay, no more questions at the moment. So yeah, no sync box actually as it stands. Literally, just Ableton is running clock to everything. And I find that if Ableton's running clock, she's fine. But when she tries to take clock from something else, then she just has an absolute shit fit, and the tempo just goes up and down. It's just ridiculous. All right, well let's get into maybe a bass line. It's been a while since I've attacked this rig, so forgive me if I. She should be shooting MIDI. Who says she's shooting MIDI? Maybe it's this one. Yeah, there we go. I should turn you down a bit. That's the aftertouch from the Hydrasynth. So let's just. See, and that's let's go to the Hydrasynth. Going on, and that is now shooting off something to something else. But yeah, with this rig, I'm kind of finding that it is just as easy to create a groove here as quick as it is there, just as long as you know your software. So we've got a sampler on the drums. I think it's a sampler. You pop your bits in and you clip it over here, and and off you go, and we've got something that sounds like this. In a very short space. There's Charlie's distortion. And then I'll probably add something from the... This is just stock. So yeah, Hydrosynth is a master keyboard. She sends MIDI messages to everything else, and then I'll just record them into Ableton, and there they are. Is the sound okay out there? Okay, Sherman, talk about the Sherman. Okay, well that literally is that rig. The only other thing that I should give a mention to is the System 1M. Have the System 1M down there, lovely little synth. I had the one with the keys as well, but it really didn't work for me. I preferred the 1M. So this is what she sounds like. And I've got some effects on her. That seems to be rather loud. So yeah, it is really, really fucking loud. I do apologise about that. Ooh, I snorted. Let's try that again. Really stepped to this rig in a wee while. Is all my Ableton going through Ableton? No, not at all. Ableton, the audio is routed from a USB into the MX1 and comes out over here as one channel. So all of everything from Ableton comes through here. The Hydrosynth is stereo 1 and 2. Input 3 is the TD. Input 4 is the TD, the MO. Then you got the System 1M, then a useless digital channel, then the effects for the System 1M, and then the TR-8S is here. And then the last piece in my rig is the VT4. That's how I get my vocals in through this rig. And then the 707, which is drastically underused in my studio because I don't need the drums from it because I've got Ableton over here and a TR-8S. So it's basically 8 polysynths in one box, which is fucking brilliant because it means it can... Oh. Why has my camera decided to be a knob? There we go. So yeah, it's now 8 polysynths in one box, which is great because it does all the fill-in little noises and everything else. Okay, any other questions? Have I missed any questions? My dear says sounds perfect, no hum at all. Yeah, this rig is lovely. It's crisp, it's clean. There's none of that going on. Right, shall we move over to the other one? Let me just mute you a minute. One. There we go. It would. Oh, what's going on? Hey, stop it. What's going on? 1, 2, 1, 2. What are you doing? Is it this? 1, 2, 1, 2. What? Yes, that is my end. Okay, I've got a dodgy connection somewhere. I'm really sorry about that. That took fucking forever to get sorted. Okay, so can you hear me now? Because I can barely hear myself. Let's try that on the floor. 1, 2. Yeah, that kind of works. Okay, cool. Right. So my other rig. Let's just do that so you can see it. Okay, now this is my baby girl. This is the beast that never sleeps, and this is incarnation 22 of her. Who knew that all these years ago when I bought my first piece of kit, this thing here, around about 2002-ish, something like that, that this would be what came, and then this would be what came as well. Okay, so yeah. EMX is the brain of my doorless rig, and she spits MIDI out to a MIDI through, and then mostly that gets spread between the rest of them. The only thing that isn't is the Zox box, which is just fed time clock from the ESX, goes through to the MAM for the same pattern, yeah, so that I can keep one low and have the other one high. I'll show you that in a minute. Where should we go to next? My mixers, I guess. So yeah, I've got 2 MX1s, one dedicated to drums and one dedicated to the synths. And they're excuse me, they're linked through the digital cable, through the digital input, because I have no idea why they put that on there. It's ridiculous. To back up my ESX, I have a TR8 drum machine. I don't use the kick, the snare, or the toms at all. Just use it for the top percussion. I should get into the toms a little bit more, but I'm weird like that. I don't like using toms at all. I don't know why. Okay, my sampler in the rig is a Roland 555, and with a 2 gig card, you can have 11 hours worth of sample time on that thing. 11 hours of sample time. That's insane, like absolutely insane. So yeah, and she's an MPC style thing, and you can only use one effect at a time. She's got like 32 effects, 32, 4, 6, 37, 8, 9, 40 effects on there, but you can only use one at a time. That's my only gripe with that one, like at all. So yeah, drum machines, mixers, samplers. I guess we move on to the synths. And MS2000 was my first ever synth that I bought. It was a gift from a girlfriend, and she paid £700 for it. I sold it a couple of years ago for, I think 3, maybe 4, 7 years ago, and then bought this one for 80 quid off of a friend because the buttons are a little bit sticky. So I have like a love-hate affair with this synth. Sold it, and yeah. So another synth in my collection is a Bass Station 2, and this has got a fucking lovely palette of noises in it. It's absolutely beautiful. Bass sounds are raw, lead sounds are nice and gritty, and you can get changes out of the machine really, really quickly. I haven't done the new update to it yet, but I want to, and I believe it will be a completely different box at that point. Next to that, we've got the Micro Freak, and again, I have a love-hate relationship with this one. It's growing on me. It's based on a piece of modular, and then they turned it into a synth, and I just haven't got under the hood enough to work with it. Like these two kind of run the same sort of line, like plinky plonky noises from above, because this one runs the bass sounds, and I've got lots of 303s in the collection which do that bass sound as well. So, like, so like between the lot of them, I've got like a nice palette of sounds, I guess. I guess next we talk about the 303s in my collection. I've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I said before, the patterns from the Zox box go into the MAM so that I can leave this one low. In fact, she needs a service. She can't even get up into the high ranges at the moment, which is why I do it. And then I squeal this one. And then Roland's Era bassline synth, the TB03, which is great. It's not as nice as the original, but none of them really are. excuse me. None of them really are. And for what she does and the input method, and like, she sounds close. I'll play you through in a minute. Are there any questions? It's my end. Okay, where were we? And I have the TB3, which is another 303 kind of copy. It's a touch bassline thing, and it's basically a sample player. And I don't use that one for the acid noises so much because I've got the others doing the work. And also worth noting that the Zox box gets split into the MAM. The MAM is then running through 2 different pedals, and the Zox box is split out and also running through a distortion pedal. The only other things worth noting is that the Micro Freak also goes through a mini Chaos pad that adds some delay to it, which I will set up now. Let's do that. Ping pong delay. And she's also running through one of the Era effects units. It's a distortion pedal, and that goes into the... Why is that not working? I literally only set up today, but the Sherman doesn't seem to be on. Ooh. Oh. Where's the right power lead? Oh. That's not ideal. Ah, thank the fuck for that. We're going to get onto the Sherman in a minute, but it wouldn't turn on, and it was because the plug was turned off down there. Oh my god, I was shitting my pants. Dom's watching as well. I'm like, oh no, I've broken his Sherman filter bank live on air. It's a loan from Mr. Wiggly, and we'll get to that in a minute. Oh my god, I shat my pants then. Anyway, last thing in this rig are the Chaos pads. I got 3 Chaos pads, and I'll show you why in a minute. Basically, I use them mostly for beat repeat. We are there. Okay. And then the last piece, which is an on-loan piece from Mr. Wiggly, is the Sherman filter bank, which is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Like, I'm underusing it here for what I'm using it for, and I'm using it to create a rumble with the kick. And after looking at the Vermona, I may end up getting that to put my kicks on. So I guess we start with the kicks, I suppose. There we go. What? There's... Oh no, it's been moved up. There we go. Clip shouldn't be there. Anyway, that's the Sherman. I did wiggle some knobs just now. So yeah, I'm using it to create some rumble on the kicks. This is the kicks without it. Oh, that's awfully dry, isn't it? That's awfully dry. I've also got a little bit of touch of delay and a side chain. Why is that not coming up? Ah, okay. There we go. There we go. Side chain on it. TR-8 being brought in there for some extra percussion. That's the 303, just in case you didn't notice. And here is the distortion on that 303, that's the Zox box. And this is the MB 303. So that's what she sounds like. Yeah, what did I use there? That was just literally the Zox box, the distortion pedal on the Zox box, the MB33, and the TB3. And let's just do that. And I can walk you through what was playing. So that's the little green distortion pedal, distortion, oh fuck's sake, TB unit, error, and that's what she does. So it starts nice and... Let's just have that pattern. And then the distortion, fuck's sake, distortion on the brain at the moment. The Zox box. And Vlady was absolutely right when he said earlier that the Zox box has got a really, really nice tone to it. It's so bassy. It's got those lovely bubbles. Okay. Yeah, is the camera gonna fit? Yeah, it's a new camera. I haven't quite figured it. It's bits and pieces out yet. Give me a couple of days on that one. I'm not great with tech. So this is the FX for it. The distortion. Jesus Christ! It was the only time I actually needed the word distortion. And as you can hear, it takes all the bass out of it. Distortion. Original. Look, see? Night and day. Night and day. And then the MB. And as you can see, I've got some side chaining on that. And if you put them all together, they sound a little like this. I'm a big fan of splitting your lines if you can, and like I say, the Zox is split into the MAM, into some pedals, and then this one you can leave kind of low, and then this one you and then this is what the other TB sounds like. We've got some delay going through it, and she is midied up to here because the cutoff knob's broken. It's very similar to the Zox. That's what the 303 sound like. Pira the Acid Clown should have done a live set this CLOWNFEST. Changed my mind. I'm doing it now. This is pretty much a live set. I'm going to run through a couple of tracks after I've given you a demonstration of what everything does and how it does it. Okay, so the let's turn those off. So let's get to the bass station. This is what the bass station sounds like. Let's. TR8. that is what the Microfreak sounds like. Sounds like she's got a left-right problem going on at the moment. Might have something to do with that. Wrong noise. There we go. That's the MS-2000. Okay, Mando said something about the kick. There's my kick. This is what the kick sounds like without any effects on it whatsoever at all. Horrific. Horrific, boxy, horrible. So I stuck some... Looks like we got some EQ. Yep, just some EQ on it. Usually stick some compression on it as well, but it sounded like it didn't need it this time. And then you stick the Sherman filter bank over it and it goes like... Like I say, I spent 10 years before I became public. I made sure that what I had to show was worth showing and that I could keep up the show. Yeah, so that's why I did it. Yeah, slight EQ and a filter. That's literally it. And then some. So that's what the Sherman's doing. If you take all that off, it sounds like this. That's just tucked under. And the Sherman filter bank is absolutely fucking crazy. Right, how far do you want to go?
Threw up blood in me sleep last night. I got a date with two 13-year-old twins. Circuses.
You have just listened to track 1 in my new set. Would you like to listen to track 2? So that's my new set. Oh, wrong drum pattern. Damn it. Always happens. Right, let's do that. And you're there. Take like this, this dollar stuff. It's not smooth sailing. This is what you have to do in between every fucking track to get to the next one. Thank you all for joining me this evening. Okay, so where were we with there? Let's get a new set of Hicks samples. You where you need to be. B26. See, all this has to be done really smoothly on stage. So that it melts into the next one. It's not fucking easy. I dare you to come up here and have a go. Right, B14. B14. And I suppose it goes a little something like... Satan's cock. Right, let's do one more. And that should have been my 20 minutes for CLOWNFEST. Okay, I hope you're having a good time out there. I can't really read comments at the moment because I'm in the middle of doing this. I would love to, but I will hopefully get to the comments in a minute. I've just got to set this up for the next track. B39. And put you there. Bring you down. Oh, I didn't have that 303 in that track. Or the Microfreak. Oh, poor Microfreak got left out. Oh well. Okay, so this is some of my new set. I find I always perform better when I'm in the studio because I guess you're at home in your own setting, you know, and you just know what you're doing. When you've taken your rig to a stage, you've spent 2 hours setting it up, and a few bits and pieces have gone wrong. By the time you actually get to actually play your set, because you might have had to wait like 4 hours after that as well, and the sound check, all you got was like what's going on in your headphones. You know, the performance is always really, really different. So I find here at home when I'm a little bit more relaxed, the shows are a little bit more, I don't know, flow. It's because I'm stoned, who knows? Okay, so one more. I'm going to turn the Sherman down a bit because she is violent. I moved something over there as well. Maybe it was that. Let's try that. Let's see what this kick sounds like without the Sherman. Okay, what should we start with first? Well, we missed the Microfreak last time. Should we start with that? Oh, you've definitely got some sort of left-right problem going on. What's going on here? I can only hear her in one. It might be that. Alright, well I need to investigate that. Anyway, that's the Microfreak. She's only coming out in one side at the moment. That's where I should have started the cymbal. Oh. Shall we see what the TV3 is saying? Should have reset that a bit. And all these perils, when you get on stage.
Let me tell you something right now. You can print this in stone and don't you ever forget it. Any performer that ever sells a product on television is for now and all eternity removed from the artistic world. Is for now and all eternity removed from the artistic world. I don't care if you shit Mona Lisa's out of your ass. Look, you eternity removed from the artistic world. I don't care if you shit Mona Lisa's out of your ass on cue. You've made your fucking choice.
I think that's it for now. 3.5 hours, I think that's good enough. So yeah, there's a look at my new set in its natural habitat. It's a little harder, it's a little darker. It might be a little bit more musical as well, which is kind of nice. I'm kind of proud of it. The sound really good. I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked everybody else's studio tour today. I gave you a little tour of Hybrid 23 and the Beast That Never Sleeps. There is a space. It's either going to be a poly-end tracker or it's going to be an MPC-1. I think it's going to be an MPC-1. But yeah. This is the part in the show where I thank everybody for taking part. If you watched this evening, that was awesome. If you dropped a comment anywhere, that's even better. If you liked the stream, you're awesome. If you shared the stream, I would literally come and kiss you by the hand right now. So that's day 4 on the wraps. We've done day 4. That's it. It was a studio tour. It was good. 2.5 hours of really good tours. It shows that the people within Clown Army are intelligent, funny individuals, you know, and that's what I wanted to get across to you all. Okay, so we will be back tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Oh, the URL. Oh yeah. Oh, let's do a quick plug for that. Okay. Oh no, I did a plug for that earlier, didn't I? Anyway, no, I didn't do a plug for that. I'll do a little thing now. The URL shout out has gone up today, and if you could get your tracks in that would be amazing. Go to clownfest.live, find the SO page shout out, and find the 15th shout out. Put your track in there, and we'll review it tomorrow on the show. It would be good to get back to some normal streaming for tomorrow. The URL is kind of normality for me. The rest of it is all kinds of crazy. Anyway. I've been Perry the Acid Clown. This has been Hybrid 23. That has been the Beast That Never Sleeps. We are in the Dark Circus studio, and we have just brought you CLOWNFEST 9 Day 4, the studio tour day. Massive thanks to all the artists that took the time out of their day to put in a tour. You are absolutely beautiful humans. And I will catch you tomorrow night at 7:30 for the URL. Catch you later, ladies and germs.
If I had a spaceship, well that would rule. I would fly around the galaxy, just looking cool. We could cruise around, just having adventures. No one would tell us what we could do. No gods, no masters, just spaceships and blasters. Nothing would matter to me and my crew.
No one trying to rule us, we'd be happy, we'd be free. We would not be leaderless, the captain I would be. If my crew did not like it, I would put them over my knee. And this is what they would say to me.
Captain me,
possesses an inherent eroticism, and I just think we should explore the possibilities afforded to us by zero G. Captain May, Space Daddy. Captain May, Space Daddy. Captain May, Space Daddy. Captain May, Space Daddy.